been 6 months. Feels like a lot longer. A lot has happened since then, an entire RLCS season, and yet Space Jump is back for the Supersonic Comp Winter Edition 2024. My name is Formal. Joining me, Queen Morgie, as we are here to bring you our qualifying matches today.
I'm really excited to be here, Formal, and yeah, of course, with the RLCS over, we were worried about having a little bit of a gap without too much excitement, but bang, Space Jump have come back with their next major. Last major was really exciting. This one's even bigger. I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, and what makes this one a little bit more unique than some of the other smaller events that are happening around the country, this one, well, it's all about LAN, and that's kind of the goal, it feels like, for every Rocket League player, is to play on a stage, play on location, and fortunately, thanks to Space Jump and, possible with the support of the Western Australian government as well, they have come together through the PERTH Winter Arts Festival, sponsored by Tourism WA, and they're coming together. They're bringing this event one more time, and I'm excited to see which 8 teams will get through today to go play on that stage.
Yeah, definitely. WA really showing what they've got with the esports scene. Definitely, have created a lot of opportunities for local players. We have there's many online tournaments, but to be able to give players the opportunity to play at LAN is really exciting. But before we get started, we would just love to give a little acknowledgement of the country. So this tournament is Western Australian based, and our players are playing on the lands of the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation. We'd like to pay our respects to the elders past and present, and extend those respects to any First Nation folks watching this tournament today.
Big thank you and big respect shown their way. The tournament itself today, it's all about those online qualifiers. It is a double elimination format, so the teams that you see maybe drop out in our first 6 matches, we'll get more on that in a bit, will have a second chance in that lower bracket. All the matches are played today, and because there's so many games, instead of the traditional best of 5, we will be rolling with best of 3s, because we got to get through 10 of them, Morgie. That's more series than I think I've ever done in one sitting. Fortunately, best of 3s, though, we should be able to march through them before things get too late.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely get through them a lot quicker than we're going to expect. But the exciting thing with these matches today, we've got a lot of teams who have come back from the Summer Major. We've got some new players, and a lot of those matches, especially more towards the end of the day, are qualifiers to get those players through to the LAN.
Exactly, and when you do get through to LAN, well, that's when things go from double elim to a single elimination format. Again, it's going to be taking part of the PERTH Winter Arts Festival. They will be held next weekend starting at 10:30 a.m. Should be finishing around 1 p.m. These are the quarterfinals. Those will be best of 3s. Get through that, and you get to the best of 5s, which will be on the following Sunday. That's going to be a exciting day. So 4 games will be played on Saturday, of no further 3 on Sunday at LAN, part of that arts festival. It's going to be pretty fun to watch, but Morgie, I had to look at some of these teams coming into this one today, and I am that confident. I'm already picking a very heavy favorite.
I already know who you're talking about. Of course, we have to look at the Summer Major winners as a heavy favorite coming into today. Rebirth, with a slight tweak in the name. They've slightly altered the spelling of their name, but they are back today with the exact same roster. I think, as well as having Jai on as a sub. Good old Ground Zero Jai is on the roster as well. I think a couple of interesting things about the other teams today. India Net is another team who is back, and I know I think they were seeded 8th in the summer event, and they're a team that we didn't look too closely at to begin with, but they caused waves in the summer major, so I'm excited to see them back today as well.
I think there's also some other fun teams that are going to be bouncing around. I mean, obviously, Shadow Wizard Money Gang, C Maka, and that crew. Always going to I'm always going to be a fan of that squad. Lozzie is coming through with the Quick Chat Champions. I think that's a team we're likely to see tomorrow, or next weekend, I should say. Level 99 Fishing, captained by Dawnfire. Now, Dawnfire is one of those figures, I want to say, in the Western Australia community. She just appears in every esports event, always competing. So we'll be curious to see if the RuneScape reference can make its way through. And I mean, also another team to look out for, Apples is American. Apples on Anxiety, Nitro, Keckles. They had some RLCS success. They might be my number 2 team.
Yeah, no, I can see why you say that. And Nitro, obviously being an Shadow is a Money Gang player as well, switching over teams to Apples is American. Interestingly enough, we've got two Apples named teams today. We've got Apples is American and Apples Apostles as well. So I thought that was that was a bit of fun on the name. But we're missing Alidus gaming formal. We've got a few players. I know Chazarad is still in the mix. He's playing for Scrimsworld today though instead of Alidus, but Alidus being a favourite last time in Summer Major is missing from today.
Yes, we are hopefully going to be getting in soon. Yeah, there's a lot of returning names, a lot of new names as well. I every time there's an Apple's name, I always think, oh, is Apple Crash back? And then no, it's still Remick, and I don't know where they are. But that's a Kiwi player. We won't be seeing anyone from New Zealand, I would assume, in this, or unless they want to make the travel over, in which case, kudos to them. Should be getting our first match very, very shortly. And again, this is our only match where we kind of know who's playing coming into this one. I believe the prior taking on the Quick Chat champions who was talking about before. Again, already mentioned Quick Chat champions, Dawnfire always around. The prior, though, I can't say this is a team I'm personally too familiar with.
No, me neither, formal, but I think that adds to the excitement of it. Sorry, I'm just putting in the match details, but
Yep.
I think that adds to the excitement. I always like seeing teams that I'm not familiar with because you don't have any expectations. You don't know what's going to happen. And I think that's the exciting thing about having a state-based tournament, that you have a lot more players join the tournament. If we're watching our LCS, there's the usual teams that make it through to the main event, but in an event like this, it could be anybody.
It's interesting to me too, because it does feel like every state is kind of like starting to grow their Rocket League identity in a lot of ways. I know Queensland up here, shock, awe, despite the Perth landscape behind me, I am still in Queensland. There's a big high school Rocket League scene that's been pumping for like 3 or 4 years now, and they have lands that happen. WA, of course, has Space Jump, and they have their pumping lands. So my question is, New South Wales, Victoria, what's happening with you two? All right, where are your lands? I've even heard of lands happening in South Australia, Rocket League lands. Where is the two populated states? Where are their lands, Morgie?
Oh, I'm on the lookout constantly. Where is there a LAN near me? I'm in Melbourne. Where is there a LAN that I can play, cast, just anything? Like, I'm looking for something, some excitement. And again, I'm just gonna another massive shout out to Space Jump and to Tourism of Western Australia with the Reaper event. Having events such as this in such a growing space that is gaming, that is esports, is huge for the community. So I'm jealous. And look at the cityscape as well, Paul. I'm so jealous. I'm sitting here, 5 degrees in Melbourne right now. There's nothing on purpose.
It's heating up here, but no, I again, I was in WA actually a couple months ago, and again, used to live in Perth. Want to go back. I really wanted to come across the country for this land this time around. Unfortunately, things didn't quite work out, but hopefully there'll be more. If there is another one, I am going to be there. So that is, I'm not locking it under lock and key promise, but definitely sad I couldn't make this one because I was planning on going, but put funds aside. I was ready to be there. It just didn't work out.
No, I'm in the same boat, Paul. I had, unfortunately, some work stuff that came up. I was crossing my fingers. I was ready to book flights. We'll make it over one day. Hopefully the next one we'll see. I think I'm very keen to go as well, having never actually been to Perth before, but having always had it on my list.
It's a great city. It is a great city. Look, we're getting ready to go. Just waiting for the players to jump on in. So sit tight. We'll be right back. And when we are back, it's going to be time for our first match. Thank you for staying with us. We are moments away from our first of 10 series. 10 best of threes, Morgie. It's going to be a long evening, which is pretty, it's good. It's a good way to spend a Sunday afternoon, dare I say.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the exciting thing as well about best of threes is, we're going to have a lot of variation tonight. I was thinking about it earlier. I was actually talking to my partner about it, saying, if you were casting, would you rather say 3 or 4 best of 7s, or would you rather 10 best of 3s?
And what did she say?
He said, what did Jimmy say? He said best of 7s, but like I see it. Look, I see it both ways. Like initially, I would have said best of 7s, but then after you do a few too many best of 7s, best of 5s in a row, you're looking for something different. And I saw this today. I was like, oh, best of 3s. Oh, okay, this will be fun. It'll be really fast paced.
I mean, the good thing about a best of 3 too is if it's incredibly one-sided, well, we just going to be good to go. All right, GG, let's go next. Not to mention, there is a bit more pressure, I feel like, to perform in the best of 3 because you don't get that kind of mulligan game. You drop one match, all of a sudden you're back. It is immediately against the wall. Either way, we are on the pitch right now, and let's try to figure out who's on what side at this moment. Our team names are 1 and 2, but I do believe the blue side is the Prior. Orange is the quick chat.
I think you might be right with that, but nonetheless, as we said before, we have not seen either of these teams before. I don't think I've seen any of these players before. You've seen
Lozzy is a familiar name.
Okay. I think it's
quick chat chance.
both of their first debut in a space shuttle, both teams.
There you go. Extra Frosty. Just going to tap that one through. 2 defenders in the way. As they will go ahead to secure the first goal for the quick chat champions. Prior chance to bounce back in this one. First time, though, as you said before, competing in the space jump event. It's why they are kind of playing in this round right now, because we had 18 teams, I believe, sign up, and we're cutting it down to 8. So if you do the math, you'll figure out, well, that means 4 teams kind of have to play a round earlier due to the seeding. These are 2 of those teams, and so far evenly matched, I suppose. King Bomber equalizing things up.
Definitely a bit awkward of a number to seed, 18 teams, but nonetheless, last major we had 12 teams, so to be increasing every major is definitely a good sign. To see some new, unfamiliar faces, and of course the familiar ones as well, as we were talking about earlier with Rebiv and Indianet and those kind of teams. So I think today will be really exciting. I would love to see some of the unfamiliar names break through and make it to the major.
Yeah, I mean, definitely there will be some. I feel like it's just, the way how it's playing out, but Rebiv has to be the favorite of this event, and the unfortunate thing for these 2 newcomers is the winner of this match will be going up against the favorite. Lozzy, nice late redirect, will make this a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, I feel like you don't really, you don't want to win, you don't want to lose this match, you don't want to go up against Rebiv. I can understand why, but nonetheless, Quick Chat champions already proving themselves to be quite the formidable foe in this match. If they can keep up this lead, it'd be really good, but the Prior also managing to score a goal. Maybe another one here. Can't quite get it past Lozzy.
Lozzy again with the reset touch. This one, though, will be saved. Follow-up shot. Comes off the top post, though. And those are the shots you're going to want to hit in the future. Lozzy, though, again, showing why kind of the highlighted player in this match, getting resets, securing goals. It's now a 3-1 lead.
Definitely the Prior players getting caught a little bit off guard there. Just a little bit awkward in net, stopping, maybe not in the right place to be able to save that. But the Big Chat champions now up 3-1. Still have 3 minutes left for. Still plenty of time to bring this back.
Yeah, and that is a thing, though, that I think should be worth noting. With a lot of these teams that maybe are in the bubble and we're not as familiar with, I am expecting them to be more higher scoring games. As Hugh's going to go ahead and find the 4th, but this is still 4 goals in just over 2 minutes right now, Morgie. This is getting concerning right now for the Prior.
Yeah, definitely, and even just watching the individual players' gameplay, we spoke about Lozzy just before, and I think it's fairly obvious that Lozzy is the more experienced player, or is, maybe a little bit stronger in his mechanics. We saw a quick reset before. He's coming off the roof, getting some really nice touches, and setting up his teammates for some good goals as well.
That has been on point, and I don't really expect the confidence to diminish just based on how the first 2 minutes of this one has gone. Hugh with a chance, though. Good defense by RQX. Able to cut off that pass before it comes through. Unfortunately for the Prior, they're not able to sustain the attack. Ball already going back the other way.
I think the thing that'll make some of these teams stand out today is going to be how adaptable they are. You know, with such a wide variety in skill, when you've got teams with, you know, players like Matthew, like in Rebit, when you've got teams who aren't as experienced, you know, you've got a whole range of ranks playing today. So it's up to the teams who are more adaptable and, you know, can read the other team's gameplay. You know, can they block the attacks? Can they keep up their defense when a lot of pressure is put on them? I think that'll make a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, it should. It definitely should. I'm curious where we go then. Moving forward, Lozzie right now wants to take things over the top. Has the reset. Nope, it was a fake, but no one really bought on it. RQX was the next defender there, but no boost. Fake was never going to work because RQX was never going to be able to challenge either way. That's going to result in a loss of possession. Prior needing to score on this attack. Looks to drop it down to a teammate. Unfortunately, the ping bomber not quite where he needed to be. Still a bit of a misstep maybe coming from the attacking side. That opens a ping bomber. Do they have a line? Not quite. Lozzie will collect.
We're seeing quite a few whiffs or mistouches, even a couple of, you know, I dare to call them fakes in the midfield as well. Both teams, you know, looking to take control of the game here, but doesn't seem to be too much possession held. Ball does seem to be going back and forth quite a lot. Nevertheless, the Quick Chat champions managing to hold on to their 4-1 lead. We've got a minute left, and I don't know if the Fire can bring it back now.
We'll see. I could be a game 2 angle, Morgie. I think game 1 is pretty done and dusted right now for our orange side. They'll be happy with this early win. RQX with a desperation shot. Lozzie defending the post, didn't even need to make contact with the ball. Half a minute to go. Game number 1. I'm calling it here. It's going to the orange side.
Do have to say we're seeing some mech come out of the Prior now though, with Ping Bomber going off the roof there, getting a really nice touch. The ball's going to go back down the way of the Prior. Can't quite get it past defense though. Taking the ball into the corner. Q with the ball down. Can't get it past OMB PZ. Ball's just a little bit loose, no one taking control.
Time whittles away. Game number 1. Gotta go to the Quick Chat champions. I mean, maybe some more signs of life from the Prior in the final few minutes, but even with that, they're not able to put the ball in the net. So 5 quick goals and a victory for Team B. That B stands for Quick Chat champions. Just don't question it. That's just how it's spelled.
That is just how it's spelled. But you know what, Paul? Credit to the Prior. What was it, 2 minutes at the end there that they managed to stop the Quick Chat champions from scoring. Maybe if they had continued playing the way they had at the start of the game, Quick Chat champions would have been 10-0 up. Or 10-1 up, sorry. So I think that they managed to hold defense a lot better, and you're right, this is looking like a game 2 angle.
I'm just looking right now at like the letter B representing the Quick Chat champions. I can't think of a worse letter because not only is it not in the team name, but it's also not in any of the player names either. There is no B's on the orange side. I'm not sure there's any A's on the blue side either, now that I think about it. Looking at how it came out, that's unfortunate. For namesake. Either way, yeah. One thing that has me concerned, though, is like, yes, we did see things settle for our blue side, but at that same token, the Quick Chat champions, they still held defensively. Like, there was a lot of shots against them. They still only conceded 1 goal. It happened right at the start. I'm not sure I saw enough, even in that second half, for me to be convinced that it's going to be a sort of game 3 coming through in this one.
True. I see what you mean. And I mean, mechanics aside, I think the thing that the Quick Chat champions really do have over the Prior is that kind of synergy amongst their teammates. I know we were looking at Lawsy being quite a strong player at the start, but both other teammates managed to score as well. I think they're really setting each other up for plays. They're setting each other up for really good passes and shots. And I think that's something that we're missing out of the Prior.
Well, we'll see how they piece it together as Extra Frosty play along the corridor right now. Has to work through the corner where Pig Bomber will collect. Trying to drop it down to a teammate. Unfortunately, the entire team was rotating to the right side and the ball wound up to the left where all of the Quick Chat champions were kind of waiting for it. I mean, Quick Chat, they're just doing a good job right now in controlling the middle of the pitch right now and making any sort of attacking effort to come from this blue side come at the expense of either all their resources or not at all.
Definitely, they're having the pressure really put on them, and it's something that you notice in these kind of, I don't want to say lower rank games, but if we're looking at, you know, some of the other teams today, then, you know, it is going to come down to rank. But, you know, we're seeing a lot more double commits and even triple commits than we would see out of some of the other teams. So, you know, the Pride just have to be aware of that. They maybe need to up their comms a little bit, call out when someone's going to go for the ball, because that would halt a lot of attacking opportunities for the Big Chat champions.
It's not just like the double commits for the ball, though. It's also double commits for boost exposure. Just the boost management as a whole, I feel like, has been one of the key differentials in this matchup. It feels like every time I'm looking at this blue side, I'm just seeing empty circles and, you know, sort of panicked defense and trying to kind of respond to the lack of urgency. That said, a mistouch from Hugh could open the door for something right here. Peasy and Bomber each push forward. Peasy will be the first one with the touch. Needs that second pass. Wasn't able to find it. Had two options, middle of the pitch. Unfortunately, no connection made.
Everyone always forgets the importance of boost management ball, and I think it took me up until like a late champ kind of stage before somebody told me, hey, you really need to keep an eye on your boost management. And you know what? It makes a huge difference. So, you know, for any, I guess, low rank players or players trying to get better, that is something to focus on. And right out of the gate, or now 2.5 minutes in, we've seen Lawsy get another goal.
That was just a great setup for Q to find Lawsy, and as you saw right there, the defense, because of the lack of boost, they were all reacting to the setup, but no one had the resources for the elevation to stop the high pass. Lawsy gets, I don't want to call it a freebie, he had to have trust in the teammate to get the pass there, but the connection looked very, very clean. 1-0 lead right now for these Quick Chat champions, and it's 5-1 if you combine the two games. Definitely looking like Lawsy and co will be going to the next round.
Ooh, unfortunate whip there from Ping Bomber in that. Looks like he was just facing backwards, I think. Get another look at it here. Yeah, just a slightly awkward backflip. Couldn't quite get to the ball in time, and we've seen Big Chat champions go 2-0 up with half the game.
It's not impossible, but definitely looking more and more difficult. Lawsy almost finds another one off the kickoff right there. Bomber very fortunate to push that away. Now looking for Peasy. They connect to get to the corner. RQX, the only blue member with boost, but is all the way back in their own net again. It's another attack where it's just not finding ways to sustain it from the prior.
Yeah, definitely. Gameplay seems to be quite halted from their side. Ping Bomber, really good save there, coming off the post. Make sure that another goal wasn't scored. A little bit of redemption from the last whip. You can see extra frosty take the ball up the center now. Can't quite get it past RQX, so you know what, we said RQX was sitting back in defense before, but they seem to be pushing up a little bit more now and getting some really good wins.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I feel like RQX has looked stronger. Unfortunately, couldn't find the angle with Ping Bomber. That could have been a threatening touch. Unfortunately, again, the prior left wanting, and with just under 100 seconds remaining, they really need to pull the trigger now. Ball's in the box, but there's no attackers there. Peasy back behind the midfield line. It's an errant touch. Hugh's going to collect this one up. Dangerous play from both sides now. An opportunity for Peasy, and they put it wide.
Oh no, Peasy almost scored there. It was looking very, very nice, but definitely a hard shot to hit. But nonetheless, we've seen Ping Bomber come in and clean up the ball to get his team a 1 goal back.
Yeah, very fortunate Ping Bomber stayed on the attacking half just outside the box in case the ball would dribble down in that position. So aggressive positioning does get rewarded. Series not over yet. The prior, just over a minute remaining. Who will find that opportunity for this blue side at the moment? They're still once again stuck on their own half. No one with boost, doesn't matter. RQX gets the good touch.
Definitely looking like a lot tighter game, or at least definitely better than the first game, but it does beg the question for me, Formal, that, you know, we've seen it happen before when one team starts to dominate a little bit too much, the other team starts to give up. I'm glad that we've seen, you know, a little bit of fire come out of the prior in this game. They're making sure the game is close, not letting the Quick Chat champions get away with it too.
At this stage, still awkward defensive touches right now. Double demo could be the chance for the prior, but they get over eager. Everybody overextends. RXQ tries to salvage the situation. Unfortunately, just not able to stay behind the play. Now Lawsy fakes it for Hugh. Shot straight down the middle. It's a bit too weak. Defense will recover.
No, Formal, that was their opportunity. The Prior had their opportunity there to score. Couldn't quite get it, although we've seen some missed opportunities from the Quick Chat champions as well. We're going to see another shot by Lawsy. Can't shoot it on target. Players in defense looking really awkward right now. Everyone's fighting for the ball. We've got 1 second left. Formal, I don't know if they can keep it up in time, but...
It's done. The Bomber can't get underneath it, although Lawsy keeps it alive. It looks like, Quick Chat wanted one more goal. They're not going to find it. Either way, the series goes their way. Game 2, 2-1. Series score 2-0. Quick Chat champions. They will move on.
They will move on with, I wouldn't say a dominant performance. I would say that they did fairly well. They were looking like the stronger team overall in that series, but they did slack a little bit in that second game compared to their performance in the first. I think, maybe we'll put that down to the Prior picking their game up a little bit more. But exciting to see even though it was only 2 games, a fairly tight first series, and looking forward to more of that.
Yeah, the problem though for Quick Chat champions is they don't get an easy round 2 match as a reward for winning that first one. In fact, you can argue things just get far more difficult moving forward, because they will be going up against, again, defending champs, #1 seed. My pick to win it, because I'm never wrong. Rebiff up next for them, and if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be our second game as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. That is the second game that we will have. Like we said, getting to see the return of Rebiff. I agree that they're probably my pick for today as well. They're probably my pick for the event overall. I think it'll be a really, really tough match for the Quick Chat champions, but I'm excited to see them put on the back foot a little bit and, see what they can do under pressure.
Yeah, we will see how that one is played out. Of course, once again, couldn't be holding this event without the support of the Western Australian government as well. Again, these teams are playing for a chance to play at that Winter Arts Festival, which is an event sponsored by Tourism WA. The whole point of that festival is highlighting Western Australia as a top-tier tourism destination. So, again, there earlier this year, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful city, Perth, beautiful state, Western Australia. Lived there for 4 years. Do miss it at times, and the most underrated beaches, I'm going to say it, the most underrated beaches in Australia are in WA, easily.
Everyone talks about the East Coast, but what about the West Coast? I agree. I've heard some things about it, but, got to go see it. It's
beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look, we're going to be throwing it to a break. When we come back, it is going to be our second match, so do not go too far. These best of 3s, they could go quick. So Rebiff taking on Quick Chat champions when we return. Welcome back, everybody. Apologies for the delay, but we are getting ever closer to our second match of 10 for the afternoon, and dare I say, probably evening as well when we get to it. But Quick Chat champions going up against Rebiff. That is a matchup. This is a very important one. Again, winner of this match will be in the winner's bracket qualifying matches. That's what 3 through 6 will be. 7 through 10 will be the lower bracket qualifying matches, cutting down from 18 to 8. A lot to play for, Morgie, and hopefully we'll be getting into this one very, very shortly.
A lot to play for indeed, and an exciting second match we have ahead of us. Obviously, Rebirth being last year's last event, or the Summer Majors winners.
It was last year, I believe. It was December, wasn't it?
Was it how long ago now?
Yeah.
Was it December? Oh my god, I'm going crazy now. Well, last year / last event, Summer Major, Rebirth did manage to take the win there, so that's huge. But Quick Chat Champions have had an opportunity to warm up now. They've playing it. I feel like it is definitely to a team's advantage to be seated that slight bit lower and have a match at the start to be able to warm up in. Rebirth are maybe they're gonna come into the, maybe they've just gotten home, they're just turning on their PCs, they're just opening the game, who knows? But if you're not warm, you're not warm.
Well, I have heard rumors, if you listen to that Twitch chat, about, the possibility of this being a 2v3 as well, which I think would be almost pretty disastrous. It definitely would make things, more feasible for the Quick Chat champions to get through. But the problem is, I saw Matthew in that Twitch chat as well, so I'd have to assume he's one of the two. And if Matthew's playing, I still kind of like Rebiff's odds.
It's a hard call to make, because I definitely agree that I would probably sway still towards the way of Rebiff. But in saying that, when you've got a 3v2 situation, all you have to do is have one person targeting demos. If Lawsy has,
yep.
he just showed off his mech. He's a good player. If anybody else is just targeting Matthew and going after demos and just throwing him out of position, it's definitely a play.
That makes sense. It could be the go, and yeah, you're right. Lawsy did have the mechanics to pull off some moves, and look, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how Jar sits, especially as a sub, so we'll see. We'll see if they get in.
I've definitely seen Jar playing recently. I have not been playing as much Rocket League recently as I should be, but my partner Jimmy is constantly playing, and I'll look over and I've seen Jar in his lobbies a lot, and I've seen Jar pull off some wicked mechanics and some wicked moves. So I would be a little bit fearful if I were the Quick Chat champions right now.
Yeah, I'd definitely be nervous for Quick Chat as well. We'll see if they can pull off. It would be an upset, you would have to imagine, if they got that win, even in the 2v3. However, this is going to be their best chance for it, so we will see as soon as the players do make their way in. Look, despite only being 2 right now, Rebiff is the first team on the pitch.
I'm excited for them. I've never casted a 2v3 kind of situation before. I feel like correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of other events, usually if a teammate doesn't rock up, or with RLCS, for example, if one of the teammates isn't there, then it's just a DQ, isn't it?
It would be, yes,
right.
In other events. Like, I don't know, I've seen enough 2v3s, I've called enough 2v3s. It's quite common in high school leagues for situations like this to happen. And I don't want to say Jar is the equivalency of a high school player, all right? That would be considered toxic. However, look at the situation we're in.
Usually it's Yummy going after GZ, formerly you taking Yummy's footsteps this time.
Someone's got. I see GZ next to your name when you join a lobby, all right? So someone has to pick up that mantle. That just seems to make sense. But look, how hard am I going after them if I'm calling them the favorites, even when it's a 2v3, okay? I think that's a pretty shining endorsement of how I think this team is going to perform.
True. And I mean, look, with the name, I will openly admit that I've wondered if it's an issue, especially when I'm casting, but I'm an Epic account. I think I can change my name once every 3 months or something. So it's not as easy. I need to link it through to Steam or something. I don't know. I need to do something, but it's definitely not easy for Epic players to change their name often.
Yeah, that is a fair shout as well. Either way, hopefully we are going to be getting into this one shortly, as I am seeing the Quick Chat champions have made their way into the lobby, so we should be starting any moment for our second of 10 best of threes for the afternoon evening. This is our last of kind of our preliminary matches before we get into every single qualifying match. That's right, we are going to stream all 8 qualifying matches, every single team that makes it to the LAN we are going to be showing them off today. But that starts after this match concludes. Everyone's in the lobby. We should be starting any moment.
I think that's really cool as well, because it gives opportunity for, regardless of, the stream may be a little bit long, but it gives every team an opportunity to shine on stream a little bit. Those teams that usually maybe wouldn't make it through an event like RLCS and don't have the opportunity to, be on stream. It's exciting playing on stream. It's exciting having, casters and the graphics and everything like that. So, I think it's really cool that we're going to see a lot of the other teams today.
As we do see teams line up, Quick Chat champions on the blue side. In orange, it will be Rebiff. And yes, it is a 2v3 as we get this one underway. Jar going to give the ball over to Lozzie, I suppose, who doesn't really know what the Quick Chat champions are. A little bit confused about, the fact that this is a 2v3. And something that I needed to be a bit critical of back in our first series in regards to Quick Chat champions, Morgie, I didn't see him use Quick Chat once.
Yeah, exactly. You can't call yourself the Quick Chat champions if you're not being like mega toxic quick chatting the other team. I feel like the prior word that was not a toxic team, but maybe if Jar or Matthew start to get a little bit toxic, maybe we'll see the Quick Chat champions live up to their namesake.
I have to admit, too, this is such a bizarre... This is a duo I never thought I would see play together. Jar and Matthew. I mean, Matthew, came through last year with, I think, I should say, end of last year, started this year, maybe a bit of a disappointment for Matthew because they had a really, really good start to 2023 and then kind of fizzled off, took a break from playing competitively, and then you have Jar, who... is sort of a figurehead for Ground Zero, ex-cricket, actually, no, sorry, not ex, current cricket player. Didn't say X yet, maybe X if the Rocket League career takes off. But yeah, it's just a strange kind of duo, these two, right? A high school champ and a cricket player, and oh, look at that, our first own goal of the event as well.
I mean, not too much Jar could do to save that there. That was a really, really good bang from Extra Frosty. Actually, that's a good question. For a second, I thought that was obviously in, and he was knocking it in. Maybe it wasn't.
I think Jar could have, I mean, you're right, though. There wasn't much Jar could do to, save that, so probably shouldn't have done anything at all.
Yeah. Still, one on the board for Jar. We love to see it. But, I know what you mean, seeing them as a duo is really interesting. But I know they play ranked a lot together. I've seen them a lot in ranked. So I think, regardless of how they've come together as a duo, they've definitely got that synergy and they've definitely got that teamwork going. And Matthew's obviously a very, very talented player, was that kind of up-and-coming rookie last year. And, regardless of whether he had that kind of honeymoon period and fizzled out a little bit, I don't doubt that we're going to see much more.
We're seeing it again right here as Matthew puts in a third goal on this one. Just pretty easy touch straight over the top. Realistically, I kind of feel like Quay should have been able to make the save. A bit unfortunate for the blue side, but a 3-1 lead right now for Rebiff as we continue along. I'm trying to make sense right now of what Rebiff's logo is.
Of the logo?
Yeah, Who is that?
Fiber, because of the name backwards.
Oh,
I can't see. It's too small on my screen right now, but the graphic popped up at the start of the game because Rebiff is Fiber backwards. It's the photo of Fiber in a Ground Zero jersey.
Yeah, I see it now, except the second beat threw me off. I actually thought it was like a reference to a frog or like a Reddit or something. Either way, he's going to make this one 2-3.
Well, in the summer major, it was Fiber backwards, like F-I-B-E-R-R, like his name backwards, but they changed the spelling, I guess, to make it look a little bit more, even when it's backwards and put a double B. I don't know, but it's still essentially Fiber backwards.
Can we get Fiber to comment on this? And I'm curious what Fiber's take is. Obviously, I think Fiber is currently prepping for Worlds, which is coming up. But I'm wondering what Fiber would say, knowing that there is a team in Space Jump that for 2 events in a row have been named after himself.
Actually, I don't know if he knows or not. I might have to ask him about it later and say, what do you think of your biggest fans playing under your name in the Space Jump events? But I'm sure he'll take it as a compliment.
You know what? I think he'll take it as a compliment as long as they win.
Gotta do the name justice.
Exactly. You don't want to. Like, oh, there's a team effort. That's great. Yeah, they lost every game that they played and were an embarrassment to the event as a whole. That doesn't come across as well. I'm not saying if you lose, you're an embarrassment. Far from it, but you get where I'm going with this one, right? Like,
I get where you're going. I get where you're going.
Performance is important.
Of course. The pressure is on Jar and Matthew, and they're definitely living up to it now, though. 4-2 up with 2 minutes left. I mean, we talked about it at the start, but even though it's a 2v3 situation, it's Matthew against Jar. They are massively strong players in this tournament, and they can definitely hold their own in a 2v3 situation.
Hold their own is one thing, but running away with the game is another. And to the Quick Chat champions' credit, they have been keeping themselves within striking distance. Another good goal from Hugh. Still early days into this one, just under 2 minutes remaining. Plenty of time for Quick Chat to maybe sneak a late lead.
Definitely, although I do think that I've definitely seen more mechanical play out of Matthew and out of Jar even just in ranked games. So I don't think they're taking this first match all too seriously. Like I said before, maybe it is still a little bit of a warm-up at the moment. I think if they do start to, feel a little bit more pressure, or they are in danger of losing the match, we'll see them step up a lot more.
Yeah, if that does come into play, I mean, right now you can still see Matthew, you can argue, is playing with his food right there through the corner, complete control, placement on point. 5-3 lead, and having not seen Matthew play competitively all year right now, Morgie, it's safe to say, hasn't lost a step, especially when unchallenged.
Yeah, definitely doesn't. Seems like he's definitely kept his hours up in the interim of not having too many tournaments to play or off season for RCS. So, definitely good to see. Maybe it's a bit of we've seen him. I've seen him in rank 2's lobbies, rank 3's lobbies, maybe even rank 1's as well. Definitely helps him to skill up.
Something I saw that was interesting was apparently Cadence is coming. So there is a chance we could see the third member for Rebiff. Maybe not in this series, but in the next one, if they do make it in time. But because these are best of threes, these series can go quick. I mean, in theory, this one could be halfway over in just 48 seconds time.
Yeah, definitely. You'd hope that they would have a third team member at some point throughout tonight. Because look, despite their performance in this game, if they were to come up against, was that like Apple's? It was Apple's Anxiety's team. I don't know if a 2v3 will stand. It will hold.
No, I think that's
game
one
like
that they would drop. That one would be a nervy one. Lozzie, another reset, and we're back within one.
What a shot as well. What a great first touch to get the reset. Straight past Jar. That was such a good shot, and definitely what we need to see out of this Quick Chat Champions team right now.
Yeah, again, Lozzie coming into this one. It's why I actually kind of pegged Quick Chat Champions despite being one of the lowest 4 seeds. As a team, I'm expecting to see make that main event. They definitely have the mechanics for it, equalizing touch, and all of a sudden with 9 seconds to go, it's a tie ball game.
Lawsy absolutely not wanting to let go of this first game. Massive shot over the top of Matthew. Backwards, can't get to the ball in time. All the power really mattered on that shot. If that was a little bit softer, I don't doubt that Matthew would have gotten the save. So, massive credit to Lawsy there, really playing this team well.
Good goal, and now a chance maybe to end this one in regulation. Long shot from Matthew almost goes through at the 0-seconder. Instead, we go to overtime after 5 goals aside.
I didn't expect the 2v3 to be this exciting formal, but what a game this has been. Decently high scoring as well. It's not too often we see 10 goals taking us into OT. Jar going to send the ball to the roof now, trying to get a touch, just whiffs it there. Matthew now following the ball up mid though. Someone's going to block him early because he will get those goals.
That was Hugh, who did enough to get Matthew a little bit off center, but a miss from Extra Frosty will cost the Quick Chat Champions Game 1.
Oh no, that was so close. That was so close. Matthew just did a really good block there. Extra Frosty just whipping the save. Not only tactical, I guess, just super unfortunate there for the Quick Chat Champions.
And that's game one going to the team of two in this 2v3. The number one seed poised to get themselves into that next qualifying match. We'll see if they're able to win the next one out, or if we get our first game 3 of the afternoon. Either way, it doesn't look like Caden's going to be back in time for this second match.
No, I think he'll be missing out on this one just yet. Hopefully it can be around for the next series. I think that the next series we will be watching, actually, funny enough, will be the winners of this series. I think so. You know, if Quick Chat Champions can bring it back, then we might see them 3 times in a row. Apologies to anyone in chat who can hear my dogs barking in the background. I will try to keep them quiet if they're coming through the mic.
So I think you're good. I think you're safe.
See dog attack in the chat. Trust me, they're like, the dogs are like 1.5 kilos. They're not attacking anything but my socks. But nonetheless, we're going to try and keep them quiet. And hopefully they don't bark during this next series, please.
I think you'll be fine. But yeah, we do have our second game right around the corner. So we get ready to kick this one off. Big question, can Rebiff go 2-0? Will the Quick Chat Champions find their swagger once again? We saw hints of what Lozzie can do. We'll need to pull it off and then some to take us to a game.
That's it. No, we're talking getting Matthew off the bat with a goal, but we're talking before about the Rebiff team name. They did initially start with I got to meet Fiber Bro before they changed to Rebiff and then this slightly altered version of Rebiff. But does anybody in the chat actually know, was that so they've been like, this roster has been playing Space Jump events since before the Summer Major, if I'm correct? Anybody knows?
So
I think
as
that
far
was
as I don't know, it's one of
Fiber
those
Bro
things where, like, when you get brought to an event, like, nothing ever happened before you start now. As far as I'm concerned, Summer Major, that was the first and only other Space Jump event, ignoring all the other lands and all the other great work they've done. History
before
doesn't exist until I was born.
If formal wasn't involved, it doesn't count, ladies and gentlemen. We need formal casting, and we need Rebiff to be stepping up their game here. We're 4 minutes left. We're only 1 goal up. Someone's got to score. We saw 11 goals last game, and seems to be low scoring between the second game.
And I can confirm too, the winner of this matchup will be going up against 30-year-olds. So yeah, great name. We'll see how they put through. By the way, we haven't had a single game 3 yet. Every single series has been 2-0 thus far.
What are you? Oh, but we're 2 series in. Are you already?
No, I'm talking about. I'm looking at the
jacket?
entire bracket.
Oh, I was like, wow, there's no base. No, but fair enough. No base 3s already, really?
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised by that one. Either way, 1-0 lead for the duo as they are looking, hopefully, for their sake, to avoid that game 3. Meanwhile, the other side, Quick Chat Champions, they'd love to be the first to take us to a decider. Matthew, though, with a fair bit of speed, tries to take it straight over the top. That ball nearly bounces in. Lozzie able to make the save from behind the line.
Massive save there. Formal, look, I gotta ask, I don't know if you know the players or not, but 30-year-olds. Are they actually 30-year-olds, or are these 15-year-olds?
I have no idea.
Who are near 30,
I mean, look, one of the players' name is Meatball Sub, okay? And make of that what you will.
That's a 30-year-old.
Yeah, sure.
That's like our level of humor. That is okay. I'm not doubting it as much. I was gonna say, if they're actually 30-year-olds, I'm on their side. I'm rooting for this team. If they're like teenagers, think it's funny to make fun of us like mid-30s, then I don't want to have any bar of it. But what's happening, Paul? We've seen
Lozzie.
I blinked, and Rebiff are on the back foot here. What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see that physical play that you normally expect in the 3v2 come through. Opens up a door for Lozzie, who's able to put it in. So 2 quick goals from the Quick Chat Champions. Right back in it. Lozzie off the roof. Has a reset possibly as well. Very, very close for the goal of the event thus far. Instead, it's going to be Matthew who can bring it back the other way. Runs out of boots, gets a demo. Doesn't matter though, Jar gets beat. Net is open, pass shot, no! It was a 2v0 and the 0 wins!
Oh no! Oh my god! I thought the initial shot, the pass was going to be a shot. I was surprised that went wide, but for the second shot to also be missed to come off the post is devastating, and has led to Rebif managing to equalize this game.
I feel like if that goal goes through as well, it turns into a massive advantage. A 2-point lead when you're already up a member. That could have been the Quick Chat Champions' way to secure that game 3. Instead, 2 minutes left in regulation, tie ball game. Game 1 did go into overtime. So, you know, definitely could be a repeat of that as it stands. Matthews goal line save, keeping this game tied 2-all.
Matthew absolutely fighting for his life right now on 0. Boost as well. Jar also on 0. Shots coming out left, right, and center. Lawsy taking the ball, gets a reset, can't quite get the shot on goal though. Manages to center it to Extra Frosty, who's going to get the goal and put this team up by 1.
That was just awkward positioning from the duo right there. You could see Jar tucking in right behind Matthew, who was just trying to kind of sit in the net a little bit longer. Very awkward defense. Takes advantage of. Very nice goal. Quick Chat Champions. They could be in that qualifying game position. Bumps. Jar still has Matthew as a teammate, so they're able to recover.
Definitely a little bit of messy play out of the Rebif team. Lawsy caught on the back foot. Tries to catch the ball, just gets the worst possible touch he could at that moment in time, and look, it's only fair. Jar on goal in the first game. Fair's fair. We've got to see no goal from the Quick Chat Champions now to even it out and see why he did it, but the timing to score that is just not on.
Yeah, unfortunately, maybe not. I thought Lawsy was going to get redemption instead. Tie ball game, just over a minute remaining. Next goal could secure this, and it will be Lawsy looking to set up Extra Frosty, who goes high. I would have liked the shot there. Now recovered by the Rebif side. It's Matthew straight down the middle. Gets the demo. Lawsy makes the save.
You cannot let Matthew get the ball that close to goal. I feel like the one thing that I wish I was seeing out of Quick Chat Champions right now is that first player really pushing up and challenging him early in the air and making him awkward, because if you let him get close to net, he's going to score. You let him score from far away as well, he's going to score from, you know, close to the net, as far back in the field as he possibly can as well. Massive shot into the top right corner, 30 seconds left.
The placement of Matthew's shots have just been so consistent throughout this series, and unfortunately for the Quick Chat Champions, it's just not something they've been able to overcome. We'll see though. Matthew just kind of needs to maintain possession right now for this duo. Gets a nice pinch, ball very, very deep. Lawsy's going to have to try to drag it out. Already gets it past 1. It's only Matthew now back on defense. Could be a 2v1, but too slow on the approach means that realistically Quick Chat now only has 1 more chance left.
Yeah, they are absolutely kicking themselves right now. The ball's gone to the corner. Extra Frosty passing it off to Lawsy, who needs to keep the ball up, needs to grab some boost. Oh, we're going to see a block out of Matthew though. Hugh also needing to keep the ball up right now. Manages to get the ball centered, passing to Lawsy, can't get it past Matthew, gets the block, and we will see game 2 go the way of Rebif.
And not only is that game 2, that is the series as well. Rebif will advance to the upper bracket qualifying matches. Still our number 1 seed despite the 2v3. Get it done 2-0. And next up, a bunch of 30-year-olds.
I don't know, number 1 seed, depending on if they can find their third player, just somebody to play third.
Well, I mean, you're still the number 1 seed. Now, whether or not it's warranted without the third player, that can be discussed. But
True.
On the table, that doesn't change.
No, that is a good point. That is my bad on the wording. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how they play coming up next. And, you know, we've got confirmation from Moosey in the chat that they are 30. Unfortunately, I don't know what you mean by unfortunately.
Yeah, Moosey also coming in with the confidence of champions right there.
Yep.
Already declaring they are probably going to lose. That's, you know, Look, our notes, Moosey, says that you came 5th in a different WA tournament. I have no idea what tournament that is, just that you came 5th out of 32. I'm assuming that means you made top 8. So you know what? Good job, and who knows?
I mean,
I've never seen Jar make top 8 in anything.
I mean, Brucey, it comes down to whether you think, you know, are you an even match for the Quick Chat champions? Because we just saw them really put the pressure on Rebiff. So, I mean, it's maybe a little bit close to call. I think that you're kind of hoping that Rebiff still only has 2 players when you go into your next game. But, you know, we don't know yet, so we'll have to see.
That said, I think Moosey is right, though. If I were to kind of drop a prediction on this one, I would be leading on the Rebiff side. They did show me enough that series that they probably will go through. That said, Morgie, I believe we are going to go to a quick break, so do stick around. Match number 3, the first of our 8 qualifying matches. That's right, we still have 8 more games to go, so stick around. More Space Jump qualifiers when we return. We are back, everybody, to our Space Jump Winter Qualifiers formal here. Queen Morgie beside me. We're now to the nitty-gritty. We've done a couple warm-up matches, but from this point forward, every single game being streamed, it's to qualify for that main event to play next weekend at the Winter Festival. And, well, look, we have our tournament favorites, handicapped, playing with the sub 2v3. You think they'd be good, but unfortunately, when you pass the age of 25 in Rocket League, you can consider that a handicap as well. And for the 30-year-olds, it's going to be a tough hill to climb.
I think for any other team today, it would be a tough match coming up against players like Matthew and Jar. But really exciting thing with this next match and then our following 7 matches, they're all qualifiers. So although we've seen a couple of teams twice today, we will see all the other teams getting to play who have made it through so far. But of course, as we've said, we are getting started now with our 3rd match of the night, and we are going to see Rebiff again come up against the 30-year-olds.
Yep, as well, that hasn't quite been updated just yet, but there you go. Now we get a nice little look at some of our matches. Cool, I get to look over and see. So a lot of acronyms. We'll explain them all as we go. The only one that you can kind of pick out that I think is easy is that Shadow Wizard Money Gang going to be playing, I believe, in our next matchup after the 30. Is that a picture of McLovin from Superbad?
That might be, actually. I'm trying to look at it.
Again, they're boomers like us, Morgan. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it makes sense. all the references we get.
I'm rooting for this team now. I think I was rooting for it when I saw the name 30-year-olds. I was a little bit skeptical as to whether these are actually 30-year-olds, but now that I know they are, represent. I hope this team does a bit of damage.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so as well. Look, they're in that upper bracket, which means they get 2 chances to try to qualify for that main event, but it's still going to be a tough ask for them as we get geared up and get ready to go. Again, these are still best of 3s, so we'll find out real quick whether or not they can make it through. We already know Matthew and Jar, but coming on to this 30-year-old side, you have the Italian meatball sub, Moosey, and of course, Jesus and Pals.
The Italian meatball sub has to be one of the best names I've seen today. Definitely a good sub, definitely a fan favorite. We saw Lucy in the chat as well with not too much confidence in himself, but already showing that he is a dominant force, trying to get a shot on early, but just too difficult to get it past Matthew.
I'm just very fortunate we're actually seeing the Italian meatball sub now and not later in the evening when we're going to be getting hungrier and hungrier. So let's get the food games out of the way at this stage. So far, the 30-year-old is actually very aggressive. Everybody trying to step forward to challenge Matthew, but it's not until Moosey when a defender makes contact on the ball and they're able to flip it back up the other way. Pace definitely a lot faster than our last series. Jesus, that's the wrong way. Turn around, Jesus and pals. That could be a bit unfortunate for them. All that space now conceded back to the Reaper side.
Yeah, definitely giving Matthew a little bit too much room to work with. You know what, Paul, that it just thinking about the name Meatball Sub just reminded me of the fact that we had HSP playing in RLCS, and look, I don't care if they're one of my favorite teams. That was annoying when we were sitting there casting hungry. So Meatball Sub, I'm in two minds about this name now. You're right.
You know, I mean, you can have like the same level of debate, I feel like, and, you know, what is the correct Subway order as the like sauces on the well, actually, yeah.
Oh my god, like the
where does the Subway debate come from? Is it the sauces or is it the bread? Like, where is the big points of contention?
I feel like the bread is a big one. I feel like a lot of people like the Italian roasted cheese. I am not gonna lie, Pommel, I'm a big fan of the rye bread.
Yo, you are the only other person besides myself who goes that way.
You go rye as well. Rye's so good.
Yeah, I'm the rye bread enjoyer. Shot from Jesus and pals. 1-0 lead for the 30-year-olds.
1-0 lead with 3 minutes left. They're definitely, we did see a little bit of a double commit there, but you know, when you're in a 3v2 situation, double commits don't matter as much because you're not leaving one man. You're not leaving yourselves at a disadvantage as much if you double commit as if the other team had players that you do. So, you know, we might see it a little bit more, but you know, you kind of have to sometimes in these games.
We'll see how it plays out. I mean, and so far the 30-year-olds have been doing a good job in controlling this one. Moosey, a chance for a double! Wasn't the cleanest, but good enough to put it through. 2-0 lead now for the 30-year-old.
Wasn't the cleanest, but what a beat, what a shot, what a follow from Moosey. Where's the confidence? Where was Moosey's confidence in chat? Why are you lacking confidence when you're doing this to Rebiv right now? I know they're a man down, but this is a feat, nonetheless.
Not the 30-year-old's fault that these kids don't know how to be punctual and on time, alright? That just comes with age, and they are being rewarded for showing up with a full roster. 2-0 lead coming through as Moosey line up another approach right now. Shot on, it goes in. Morgie, I'm liking these 30-year-olds less and less because they're making me more and more self-conscious.
I'm liking them more and more. This is the gameplay I wanted to see last series, but you know, like we said last series, Matthew, I've definitely seen Matthew play better. I've definitely seen Jar play better as well, but I think they've got a few tricks up their sleeves yet. Whether it depends how long it kind of takes them to start pulling those out or to start warming up into this series a little bit more. But I think that they're not playing with their food, but they're still slacking a little bit.
I just can't help but feel self-conscious though. Like I always use age as an excuse as to why I'm bad at these games. And I'm watching, you know, this 30-year-old team just kind of put me in my place. It's not till I don't got it. I don't have it, David. Yeah, they are looking so strong. 100 seconds remaining. We'll see though. Jar and Matthew, they pulled, you know, some flurries of points in the past. In fact, you can go to their first game on stream where they scored 4 goals straight away. Would love to see them do that again. Matthew now off of the backboard, goes straight into Moosey. Second touch towards the net, and it is going to go in courtesy of a meatball sub.
Very, very awkward bounce off the top of the backboard there. Just Matthew can't quite jump at it without putting it in. So obviously, you know, smart move to pull away from that. But you know, Italian meatball sub there to clean up the mess nonetheless. 4-0 up Formal. This is not what we expected.
No, it's definitely been a lot more one-sided, dare I say. And not the side that I would have predicted to have the one-sided lead either, but I mean, this is just a case, numbers advantage coming through. All it takes has been like one mistake, and then the openings have been there for the 30-year-olds, and they've been taking advantage of it. 50 seconds remaining. Matthew's going to put one on the board, so Rebif maybe still with a bit of pulse here in game one.
Maybe still a little bit, but you know, just to have to score 3 goals in under 50 seconds just to equalize is a big ask for any team. Is there anyone who can do it today other than Matthew? I'm not too sure. Matthew probably is the player to do it, but being a player down in this roster is definitely going to make it that much harder. You're going to see him take the ball upfield now. You can't let him have this ball early. He's going to go for the double off the backboard. The Italian meatball sub meets him there and gets the goal.
That was still very close. It would have been a devastating dunk. You could see how Matthew was just angling the car to be able to drop that ball straight down had contact been made. So I like how we're seeing Rebif fight till the very end in this one. Still 20 seconds to go. Probably going to be too little too late. Bump goal, though, does hit its mark. 2-point difference in 17 seconds.
2-point difference in under 20 seconds. We've definitely seen it done before. Matthew with just a really, really clean carry of the ball straight into net there. 17 seconds to go. The one thing, Formal, I'm really, really loving, and this is, I know I'm hammering it in over and over again, but when you're in a 2v3 scenario, you've got to have your first man challenging quickly, and that's something that we didn't see the Quick Chat champions do, but we're seeing a lot out of this 30-year-old side. I've seen Italian Meatball sub do it heaps this game. As soon as one of the Rebif members goes up in the air with the ball, he's there early to challenge and make sure they can't get the ball, you know, even past halfway, which is huge in this game.
The wait timer does hit 0, so despite Jar getting a goal in 0 seconds, the damage was already done. It's going to be a game 1 victory for the 30-year-olds. Aggressive play, opportunistic challenges, and now a game victory. These 30-year-olds one step closer to that main event.
This is huge. This is the team I'm rooting for now, Paul. This is the one. They're showing, you know, whether you feel a little bit self-conscious about it or not, they are showing us that, you know, us oldies, we've still got it. We've got something in this game. Everyone thinks the teenagers they're taking over the world with Rocket League. It's all the young players. It's all the young guns. What about the oldies who've got skill? This is the team for it.
Maybe we're finally seeing age come through in this one, but they still got to do it a second game, and I would be remiss not to bring up the fact we saw 3 late goals coming from Rebif at the end of that one. They were kind of scoring at ease as the time did whittle down, so even though the game 1 victory did go to the 30-year-olds, an argument could be made that momentum is more on that orange side.
That is true, and we know how important momentum can be in these games, in these series. We've seen it done before, you know, especially in a best of 3 kind of situation. I don't know if I'd really call it, I guess technically a reverse sweep, but it's not that big of a reverse sweep when it's a best of 3 anyway. But you know, it's definitely something that I expect we might see a few times today.
Well, we'll see if they can piece it together. Game number 2, players jumping back on to the pitch. Pressure on the orange side. This team of 2, if they can't get the win here, they'll have to do it in that lower bracket. Meanwhile, for the 30-year-olds, a chance for a pretty big upset if they can just find a victory in the next 5 minutes.
For sure, they would be wanting to get this game done in 2 and not allow Rebif the opportunity to take it to game 3, of course. You see Matthew with a good clear off the backboard, but this 30-year-olds team just really putting the pressure on in offense. We've seen quite a bit in this last game as well.
We'll see what they can find as Moosey puts the shot on. Save will be made. Italian Meatball sub now looks to challenge Jar. Got a bit of contact, not solid. And it will be left for Matthew now to try to find a clear. Matthew, in fact, could want a little bit more as well. Looking for Jar up above. They don't go too far with it. Moosey now underneath. Looking to connect the Italian Meatball sub. Shot not on.
I've definitely seen a couple of dangerous last man challenges already. Of course, the role of your third man, or in this case, your second man for the Rebif team,
it's open,
is to protect the net and not push up too far. But that message has gone astray for Rebif. We've seen both players push out a net, or we've seen Matthew jump out a net. Jar not quite able to make it back into defense, and a very easy goal for Jesus and Palace.
Yeah, quick goal, 1-0. Very, very good start for this blue side. Although that touch is a little bit awkward. It's going to come off the backboard. Jar gets a bit of a demo. Jesus and Palace will pull off down at the corner. He keeps chasing. Ball back to Jar, who puts it in the Moosey. Now comes the Italian meatball sub down, but not in yet.
You know, as a player, I would say that, I guess in past, seeing Jar play in past, I've definitely seen his more aggressive side. He's definitely not a player who will avoid demos, I'm going to say, and we've seen one out of him just before. I think that he's definitely not as playing as physical as he is today, but you know, when you're playing a 2v3 situation, you've got to be careful because that physical play can put you in dangerous positions.
We'll see. I mean, just that high-risk approach, and so far, I can't really say it's completely worked. Game's still too close to kind of go either way on that one. Jesus and Palace looking to throw it down to the Italian meatball sub. Post down, but it's the one spot where I don't think they wanted it. Instead, it's handed to Matthew on a silver platter. I don't know what Jar was doing in the back of the net. Either way, he does come out to throw it over to Matthew, who had to have been going for a bumper demo, right?
Yeah, of course. I think he was. It looked like he was hunting for something, but Matthew, the block on Matthew just then gave the 30-year-olds a massive opportunity to score with both players not in defense, but just a couple of awkward touches. Maybe the pressure's on them a little bit right now. They're realizing that they're so close to taking this team out and making it through the upper bracket. So, you know, maybe the nerves are kicking in a little bit, as we've seen happen in past with many teams, actually.
Italian meatball sub, looking to drive it down off that backboard. Wants Jesus and Pals. 2-0 lead, and this is looking better and better right now for this team of 30-year-olds.
The defense just not what I was expecting out of Matthew and Jar here. Matthew was sitting front post despite Jar rotating back ball side, so probably not the position you want to have two defenders in, but as we've seen in typical OC Rocket League, we have pick-off goals to bring this game back a little bit closer.
Yeah, the 50's just completely going in favor of that orange side. Rebif now back within one, under 2 minutes of regulation to go. Asking, you know, this duo to put one goal in 2 minutes, you'd have to imagine that's enough time. In fact, they could need even less because Jar had the reset. Sets up Matthew, and we're tied 2-all.
Jar bringing out the resets. I wanted to see this out of him earlier on in the series. I know he is that player. I know he has those mechanics. But Matthew there to clean up a mess when 3 defenders were there in net to stop him from getting that reset goal anyway.
Very nice shot and goal. And now tied again. That 2-goal lead for the 30-year-olds. It's up in smoke and flame. Needing to find 1 goal in 100 seconds. Maybe that'll be enough to get them through to the main event to play next weekend. Meanwhile, on that opposite side, Rebif, they want to go to game 3. And they might have the positioning to do it. Matthew, again, has been on point with these touches, but one goes awry. An uncharacteristic miss in clutch moment for Matthew.
Yeah, definitely seeing Matthew hit those 99 times out of 100, but luckily for the 30-year-olds, that was that 1 in 100 miss. We've got 3 defenders sitting in net right now, trying to make sure that they can't get another shot on net, but Jar going to take the ball into center, a few lifts there, letting the ball go loose, but Matthew now in possession. We're going to see Meatball Sub miss it as well, and Moosey hopefully going to take control of this ball.
Jar wants to stay on it, Matthew now wants that next touch down, it crosses up the net. Not in where it needed to be, still 45 seconds remaining. Here it comes, Jesus and Pals. Looks to go underneath it, does get a double commit, but the ball falls into an awkward spot. 30-year-olds, they do get there eventually. Italian meatball sub. To find Jesus and Pals, they connect, but so too does Jar. Ball gets pushed to the opposite corner.
I have a feeling we might be seeing this game go into OT formal because the ball has just... We've had shots on both ends, we've had misses on both ends, we've had the ball halted straight in the center of the field with neither team able to take control for more than what seems like a couple of seconds. So we're going to see Rebiff take the ball back up there, and now Jesus and Pals with a really good block. Going to try and get a center. Can't get it past Matthew though. Maybe with one more opportunity to score. The ball drops down to the ground, and we're going to see an overtime.
An overtime situation where the 30-year-olds are looking for a goal to push themselves into that main event. The goal going the other way takes us to a game 3, our first game 3 of the afternoon, both on and off stream. And again, any team to kind of pull this one off, you'd expect it to be Rebiff. Demo in the middle of the field, though. It's just Matthew alone on defense. Patience, though, avoids Italian meatball sub, regains possession, shots on target. Jesus, though, will have to save.
Ball going to be in Meatball Sub's possession. Matthew, though, with a block. Can he get it past Moosey? Not quite, but he's going to get the 50, though. Jar going to take possession of this ball, hopefully just for Matthew, but going to get blocked again by this 30-year-old side, who are going to have an opportunity with a shot on net. And Jesus and Pals scores, takes this series for the 30-year-olds. Rebiff are now going down to the
Yeah, a bit awkward for the Rebiff side. Again, the 2v3, they come up short, but the 30-year-olds, the first team to qualify. Not who I would have predicted in the slightest, but again, this squad, they've got a bit of competitive experience in that unnamed tournament where they apparently finished at least in the quarterfinals. Well, now they are getting through, so a big congrats to them. Still early days, but 30-year-olds, they were the lower seed against Frequent Flyers, got the win there. Lower seed against Rebiff, got the win there. They've made the main event.
I want to say, Formal, is this, like I know In Your Net is in this event, but is this the Winter In Your Net team? Because I feel like we looked at them thinking, okay, lower seed, you know, they're going to get taken out by, you know, maybe Frequent Flyers, definitely by Rebiff, well, definitely, but there was a decent chance there, but they've come out of nowhere. I know it's a 2v3, but they've taken down Matthew and Jar. Is this event's In Your Net?
Yeah, I that's still a big win, so maybe, just maybe. So big congrats to them. They're on their way to the Supersonic Cup Winter main event, and you know that, of course, is just one of many events that is going to be happening at that PERTH Winter Arts Festival. Again, there's one more week left of the festival. Range of incredible events happening on show and on offer there. I mean, look, you can see some of them maybe if you look close behind me, because I'm clearly just sitting, you know, in Perth right now, all right? Like, alive on location, trust. But there's music shows, circus shows, a lot happening. So, you know, go check it out throughout the week. As it stands for us here right now, though, we're getting ready to go into our next match. Straight into this one, Morgie.
Straight into this one. We can't, you know, we thought, you know, we got great ads, but no, we're going to go straight to the action of the next game. We want to keep you guys excited. We want to see some new teams up on stream today. And I'm trying to have a look now. Who do we have up in this next
Yeah, well,
match?
look, as soon as the lobby's ready, then we'll get in, right? That's typically how it goes. But it is going to be the Shadow Wizard Money Gang. All right, look. They are a staple, I feel, of the WA scene. They arguably the best name, C Maca and Co. coming out there. We'll be excited to see them. However, they've got a very tough matchup against Apples is American, Nitro, Apples on Anxiety, and Keckles, who I think might actually be, you know, the player to watch out for on this trio. This is going to be this could be the closest match, I think, of the upper bracket.
Definitely, I think this will be an exciting match to watch, but in saying that, we are missing Nitro out of the Shadow Wizard Money Gang, who was absolutely a key player last event. So I believe we've got a replacement for Nitro, but I'm not too familiar with this new full roster and how they play. Yeah, that Apples team, though, that's a dangerous team to be coming up against.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun one. I mean, we'll see if they can piece it together. Just kind of waiting for things to come through, and then we should be going. But we will be throwing it to a quick break as the lobby gets set up, so do stay with us. Game number 4 of 10, our second qualifier, when we return. Welcome back, everybody. Our evening is just rolling right along, and we're not far away from our second qualifying matchup, the Shadow Wizard Money Game taking on Apples on Anxiety. I mean, it's going to be a fun matchup for sure, but look, I'm leaning on that Apples team, Morgie. I think they're going to be the stronger side.
Definitely. Look, I do have to agree, Formal. I think that Shadow Wizard Money Gang, they are a good team. They're a team with a lot of heart, and we've seen them play in many, many events before. I completely blanked on saying this earlier. I mentioned it at the start of the stream, but I completely blanked that Nitro has jumped across to this Apple side, funny enough. So we're seeing ex-teammates take on ex-teammates. I think that, maybe there's a little bit of betrayal there. Maybe there's a little bit of a, who's going to come out the better team. I think that a lot rides on it for these players, and that's exciting. But the one thing I do want to mention quickly to the chat is that, we are a little bit behind schedule, so the graphics will be updated with the new game times, so bear with us there. I think it's no huge surprise. These things happen. We've seen delays happen in the past, but we will have that updated shortly. But nonetheless, we will be continuing on with the action as quickly as we possibly can with this next game.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be a little bit, I think we're going to have a lobby remake on our hands, so we're still kind of getting ready to roll on this one. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long for things to get itself, set it back up and rolling again. But look, we do have a general idea of what some of our other matches are happening as well. After this, of course, we have, throughout the evening, teams like Inyanet versus Apple. Team Gaming Esports Club will be going up against Scrims World as well. That kind of finishes up our upper bracket. Then we'll go to that lower round where, unfortunately, some teams have been eliminated. The team that we saw at the start of the day, have actually lost to the Kwinana Town Legends, who have made it through to that lower bracket qualifying matchup. Reds Ranch will be going up against Rebith later tonight in that lower bracket. Other games that we're still waiting on, the Frequent Flyers versus the Quick Chat Champions. That one's gone to a Game 3, so we'll figure out that. Obviously, some pretty big implications. I thought the Quick Chat Champions were pretty strong, and we'll see if they can get past the Frequent Flyers. But for us here, we're still getting ready to go. Hopefully Shadow Wizard versus Apples and American will be soon. Welcome back, everybody. We are hot dropping in this one. First of all, would like to apologize for the delay in getting this match started. We just were running into some technical difficulties in regards to the lobbies. But this is live. This is happening, Morky. We have our matchup right now. Apples is American on that blue side. Shadow Wizard Money Gang are in orange, and they're already behind.
They are already behind, but can you blame them when Pickles has such, I'm going to say, such immaculate ball control, to be able to just guide that into the bottom corner and put the Apples' American team off to a great start.
Yeah, good start from the team that I would have to say is probably the favorite on this one. Pickles has been a player that I think has been making more and more waves throughout the scene, and is someone who's on the up and up as player to look out for. On that other side, C-Meta is another name that's been around for a while, the Shadow Wizard Money Gang. I mean, look, they're a proud team. They tend to get, decent results in events like this. They haven't really broken through to that top echelon. A win through the upper bracket would be the best way for them to do it. Either way, though, when I see both these teams' lineups, I am expecting to see them both play next week.
Although I will say that, I think I'm wrong, I could be misremembering this, but Shadow Wizard Money Gang did make it through to LAN at the last event at the Summer Major. Although, I think it was due to a DQ. I'm trying to remember. One of the teams DQ'd. I think it wasn't the God Aliens. They made it through. I think Shadow Wizard Money Gang actually beat the God Aliens, but there was it was Inyanet. Inyanet DQ'd, I think, for the LAN. They couldn't make the LAN, so Shadow Wizard Money Gang did manage to take that LAN spot. And I think that experience will definitely really help them if they're able to make it through to the land today. There will be some teams. There's 8 teams going through to land. There will be teams that haven't yet been to land, and those nerves can really kick in that first time. So the fact that they've gotten that out of the way already is huge.
Yeah, and the thing too about like Shadow Wizard as well is like, yes, they did get through because in your net unfortunately couldn't make it, but then Shadow Wizard from that position actually got a top 3 finish. However, speaking of the number 3, it is 3 goals already for Apples is American.
Yeah, definitely some aggressive play coming out of Keckles. Puts the ball up high into the air and then gets a massive bump on the defenders to make sure that was a nice easy shot for Apples. To be 3 goals up, I will agree with him that I'm very confident that this team is they're one of our top teams in this event as a whole. So it's a tough game for Shadow Wizard Money Gang today to come up immediately against them. Well, not immediately, sorry, after a few other games, but to come up against them this early is difficult. But I think, looking at the Shadow Wizard Money Gang side, the player I'm looking at is Frack. I think we've seen Frack make plays before, both in ODL, even in RLCS, in those kind of lower placements, and any other tournaments. Very mechy player, very, very fast player. And I think that he could do some damage today and throw this Apple's team off guard.
Yeah, and especially too considering that we kind of saw a situation as well with, the Fiber team, not quite Rebiff, of course, not really getting through in their expected position. It kind of would put this blue side as the favorites at their event. What just happened, Nitro?
Just a bit of a whiff there. A massive whiff actually, but nonetheless, credit to C-Maka for that shot, to be able to put the ball, that placement on net from as far back down the field as he was is huge. And, might gain them a little bit of much needed momentum right now.
It's the curse of the Shadow Wizard Money Gang. They curse Nitro right there to just completely misread that ball. You'd have to assume one of the strengths perhaps of this orange team would be, those kinds of magical, mystical abilities. But no, as a whole, yeah, this orange side, I mean, not the start they were hoping for the Shadow Wizard Money Gang, but I can't say it's too surprising. Shot from Keckles will be saved on the line by Crack. He's going to try to bring this one back up to the other side. In fact, that looks really good. Back with a chance. Keckles keeps it off the post. A double touch save from Keckles.
Keckles working wonders right now in defense, trying to keep that ball alive and out of their net. But yeah, massive credit to Shadow Wizard Money Gang for creating that offensive opportunity. And just like that, we're going to see Nitro show them what he's made of. Take the ball off the wall, go off the roof, get a nice flip, perfect touch to put the ball into the part of that.
4 goals now for this blue side, and yeah, it does look like Apples is American going to be running away with game number 1. Still a minute and a half, but very tough to come back from this position right now.
Definitely. I think that, they're running away with this game. I think that they probably run away with the second game as well if they manage to keep up this level of play. And we will be several series in without a single best of 3 on stream today for all of that space.
Yeah, it's getting a little concerning, I have to say. I'm sure we'll get one game. That's going to happen.
Totally.
It could still happen in this series. It's still early days, all right, from the game 1. So there's time to bring it back. But yeah, it's been a very dominant performance from the favorite side. Apples is American, and I mean, they just look so much more confident in a lot of their approaches and a lot of the touches and the follow-ups. Every time I'm seeing them, they are sitting on boost as well, controlling the middle of the field. And at this stage of game number 1, they don't even have to really be that pressured. They can just sort of relax, make sure they don't give up anything big, and they're going to be looking at a nice, easy 1-0 lead.
Definitely. Well, that Apples American side is the more experienced side here today. Although Shadow Wizard Money Gang have played in plenty of tournaments themselves, they haven't, aside from the DQ and GLAM last event, they haven't really been able to break that kind of ceiling properly yet. Whereas, you look at players like Apples on Anxiety, who has been around for a long, long time, experienced player. Keckles is that kind of up-and-coming, really strong, really talented player as well. And Nitro just showing the exact reasons why he's been coached this match. they're just a really strong side, and I think they've probably got they've got more strengths here than the Shadow Wizard money game.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to get enough to get this first game done and dusted. Crack will kind of watch that one fall down. Alex actually, or AFSOL, I should say, able to get underneath that. But either way, it's not like the score is going to, change too dramatically. Apples gets win number 1.
They do indeed, with a very, very dominant 5-1 performance. Keckles and Apples both with 2 goals each. Nitro with a goal himself. And Maka with 1 goal on the Shadow Wizard Money Gang side, although I will say that that goal could have probably been prevented if Nitro had not whiffed the save. We could have seen a 5-0 game, but nonetheless, Shadow Wizard Money Gang managed to get a goal on the board, which is good. It's a good accomplishment, and hopefully they can, bring that into game 2 and maybe not let the game get so far away from them.
I mean, we'll see still a lot of games to be played, and yeah, maybe they can bring that one back when we get ready to go for game 2, but it feels like a tough ask. Apples, they did look a cut above throughout this one, and I don't know, we'll see. Keckles seems to be on point. Nitro as well had some couple key touches. Haven't seen too much from Apples themselves outside of that one sick goal towards the end of the game, but at that stage, even then, it was sort of out of reach, so we'll see. As we get geared up, ready to go. Game number 2 in this best of 3. If things continue on the current trajectory, Apples is American will be our second team in the main event.
Definitely, they are just showing themselves to be a real dominant force, both in defense and offense. This Apples is American side. I would venture a guess that the game was probably 2/3 in the way of the Apples is American attacking half that game. And that really showed in the shots they were taking as well. They had 14 shots compared to Shadow Wizard Money Gang's 6 shots as well. So neither team with the highest shooting percentage, but the more and more you put the ball on net, or the more and more you take the shots at net, something's bound to go in eventually. So, maybe it is a bit of a quantity over quality, although we can see some quality goals last match.
We'll see if they're able to bring them back and kind of continue on this one. As we'll see Keckles looking to get a bit of a pancake goal. Wasn't quite able to squeak that one under. A little bit unfortunate there. All off the backboard. Nitro now going to try to dribble it back across that middle of the field, but Keckles will intercept it away. Now around the corner we go. Crack wants to collect. Apples, though, will be the one fighting the shot. Not quite finding the placement. However, Maka able to clear it out.
Able to take the ball down the other end of the field. Nitro fighting for his life right now, trying to just break the ball away from that pack. You see Keckles with a very light touch, a demo by C Maka. Sorry, a demo by Alex and save by C Maka. Both teams trying to gain control right now. We're going to see a bang upfield, but the shot is saved.
A few key shots saved. Now Keckles looking to bring it back up that other way. Alex throws it right into Keckles, and that's how the first goal is scored. Doesn't get much more open than that. A 1-0 lead for Apples in America.
Definitely not the most tactical block there from the defenders. Just kind of put it in Keckles' hands and let him score that one a little bit too easy. But they're not 5 up. They're not 5 up. We're seeing a little bit closer this game. Although Keckles taking the ball downfield now. Gonna try and meet Nitro in the air, who was floating for quite a while there. C-Mac with the clear upfield as well. Taking the ball into the corner. Can't quite get a pass out though.
Yeah, Apples is able to collect and control it. And if they can collect and control the rest of this game, they look to be doing, they will be in a prime position. It gets a little bit tricky on the setup and not able to quite put it through. Keckles looking to go back through their own corner. Pressure already there, though, from this orange side. A chance for Crack to equalize. Defense makes the timely save.
Apple's just kind of holding onto the ball like he had glue on the ball there, although he was, was a little bit precarious in front of the net. He managed to keep control of it. Shot now on from Nitro, who can't quite get the double. Going to get blocked though by Keckles, and Max tries to take it off the field. Keckles now with an opportunity on net. Can't quite get the reset. Apple's taking the shot, gets blocked as well.
I mean, a lot of near hits, but nothing really going through right now for Apples this American. And with only a 1-goal difference, all you need is one strong counterattack. And all of a sudden, we got a game on our hands. Instead, though, it's going to be Keckles muscling that ball past the goal line. 2-0 lead.
Great job from Keckles here, rotating his car to kind of. It seems like to me that that was the best possible way he could have shot that to give the ball the most surface area on his car. I was going to say, if he'd done a power shot just then, it's likely that it would have just bounced off the defender and gone out. So we're seeing really, really clinical play out of this Apples' American side, even if we haven't seen as many shots go on net. It's just all of their touches are really important and really critical to the way they're playing.
Yeah, exactly. And the North thing, too, is they're not giving anything up that other way as well. I mean, they're definitely battling to sort of control the situation more so than anything else, and it's paying dividends. And then some. Just under 2 minutes remaining. Nitro! Squeaks it past that inside post. 3-0 lead, and I worry it is now out of reach for the Shadow Wizard money.
That is the second super clean shot we've seen out of Nitro today. The first shot in that first game, coming off the roof, managing to get a really good, well-timed flip for his goal in that shot we saw just then. A really nice double off the wall as well. Nitro is definitely a very talented player. I'm keen to see where he goes from here. Definitely a player I'm looking forward to seeing playing in more tournaments going forward after this.
Woo. Wow, I actually thought Keckles hit the ground there before scoring that, but apparently not. The reset with that momentum enough to get them to score a very mechanical goal to realistically just put the score completely out of reach. So 4-0 lead. Definitely will be enough right now. Shadow Wizard Money Gang, I think they're going to be looking to qualify now through that lower bracket, which, that's okay. From what I know about Shadow Wizards and the likes is that it's not normally till things get really laid out when they come alive. So I think they'll look a lot better, as the sun starts to set.
Oh, absolutely. We know some. I've definitely seen that kind of pattern in a few teams before, where it takes them a little while to warm into things, not necessarily into a particular game, but into a tournament or a series itself. And they are kind of late bloomers in that sense. So I think you're right. Whether or not they go down to the lower bracket, which is.
Well, I was just thinking of I don't know how relevant this game still is, but the old videos of wizards invading Arby's at 1 a.m. And it was all AI art to Electric Avenue playing. And for some reason, that's how I picture this team, right? They're the old wizards invading Arby's at 1 in the morning, and because it's still light out, they haven't reached full wizard powers yet. We'll see. We'll see where they'll rock on to. At the moment, they're going to be rocking on down to the lower bracket because it is going to be a win for Apples is American. They'll be going through this one. It'll be another 2-0 series sweep, and they're going to be our second team qualified for the main event.
You know what I would have loved to have seen, Formal, would be this Shadow Wizard Money Gang up against Arby's. Yeah. The Shadow Wizard Money Gang up against that two-man rebuff roster. I think that would have been a really interesting series. But nonetheless, they have had a harder time going up against this Apples is American team. And although we had a little bit of a delay at the start before we could get into this, you guys weren't missing too much, I guess. We managed to get into this game quickly enough for, again, not to go to a game 3. We've got another 2-game sweep. And
it's a good thing we're getting sweeps. Look, I never want everything to be all sweeps, but because we're a little bit behind schedule, maybe it's okay if we could try it.
Thank you, Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
Yeah. Got good guy, Shadow Wizard Money Gang, just making sure we stay on schedule. Either way, Apples is American. They're off. They're through. They're happy, but we still have another match right around the corner. Inyanet versus more Apples, but this time it's the Apostles getting geared up to go.
I love that there's 2 Apples teams. I'm not gonna lie, when I first looked at the Start GG, I just mind blank. I glanced over one, I saw Apples, and then I clicked on the other Apples, and I was, why are there different team members? Have they swapped the entire roster? What's going on? And I was like, oh my god, there's 2 Apples teams. What a coincidence.
Yeah, there's just so many apples. All right, so go get yourself an apple and then come back. Game number 5, our third qualifier when we return. We are back and geared up for our third game of the upper bracket qualifying matches. The return of In Your Net taking on Apple's Apostles this time. There's too many Apples teams. At first I thought it was kind of cute. At first I thought it was kind of funny. And now I'm remembering, hold on, there's only one type of apple I like. Those are Granny Smiths. And anything more is too many.
Anything more is too many. I don't blame you, Formal. Honestly, we're going to go into this next match, and I already know I'm going to call them Apples as American. So we just call Apples as American. They're one after each other as well. There's no break between the apples, but I'm keen to see who comes out the better apple. Which team's going to be the rotten apple? I don't know. Imagine if we could have had these teams against each other. I'm glad we didn't have that.
Well, we still might in the main event, but of course by that stage, we will not be there as this game is kind of running and underway already. As everyone's able to see, except I'm still stuck trying to get into the server, Morgan, so I'm going to have to rely on you to try and call this one.
No, I'm also trying to get informal apologies. But spectate. There we go. In Your Net, Formal. This was the team I was most excited about last major. I think the team that, like I mentioned it before, 8th seed in the summer major. We didn't expect too much coming out of them, and they just went crazy in the summer major and proved themselves to be a really, really strong team. I was so excited to see that they'd signed up again today. I was so excited to see the return of In Your Net. I'm expecting big things out of this side.
Yeah, I'm hoping this time too, if they qualify, they will be able to make that land. I'm sure it would have been a little bit disappointing that they weren't able to play after qualifying. We'll see, because they're going to score the first goal here. It's Rambo putting on the first point.
Rambo putting a massive shot on there for In Your Net and getting it just past, that was Jakaya and Net, who did not get the save. A little bit awkward on the back foot. Apologies that we missed the start of it, or apologies that I missed the start of it, but I'm glad you guys could see what was going on while we were having a bit of a chat. I think this will be a pretty tight game for me.
I also want to add to the Apple confusion right now, even though, fortunately, it's not on display for everybody else. We keep all the team profile pictures privated to an extent. But it should be worth noting, Rambo has an apple as your team profile picture as well, just to add to more of the Apple situation. Either way, Slip Grip is going to go ahead and put in the next one.
I wonder if that's intentional for today. Does anybody know Rambo has always had an apple? That can't be a coincidence. This is wild. Way too many apples in this tournament. It'll be, like we said, it'll be interesting if both teams go through. Fortunate that we will not be casting that game if that's the case. I'm kind of glad. Knowing the way I am with words, I would absolutely mess that up. But they have to make it through first, and they have to beat teams like In Your Net, but right now it's not looking too likely as In Your Net are just coming out of the gates fast, really hard, and they're 3 goals up. This is going to be difficult for Apple's Apostles to come back from.
Yeah, Slip able to find another goal right there, so there's going to be a 3-0 lead for In Your Net as they go just past that midfield line. Lindo looking for a teammate instead, finds the other side, a chance now for Draco to maybe put one in. Rambo, though, able to clear it out of the danger area, just drilling all the way through. And this again, this is why this In Your Net team is a little bit spooky. I mean, they are very, very good at just kind of evading pressure. It's the individual mechanics so far that's been the difference for them. And with the 3-goal lead already halfway through game number 1, they are in complete control of this series.
Absolutely, absolutely. Apple's Apostles will need to fight back hard if they want to, even just get a goal right now is looking like a really, really tough feat for them. Slip Tip going to take the ball back down the centre. Rambo now with an opportunity to take a shot on net. Can't quite get the reset or a touch that he wanted nonetheless. We're going to see Jakaya with a shot on net down the upper end as well. All going back and forth a lot with defenders on both sides managing to save.
We'll see if they're going to be able to kind of find some more in this one as I wonder right now, because I just did a little bit of research, right, on backside of things, typing in, looking things up. Slip, there was a player with the same name as Slip who used to compete for Mind Freak in Overwatch. And I'm wondering if that's the same player.
Interesting. Interesting to go from Overwatch to Rocket League is an interesting switch. I mean, I was talking with friends about this a while back, formal, but Rocket League, like obviously we know Rocket League is one of those games that everybody comes into fresh. It's like you could go into Valorant being a top tier player if you were a really good player, if you're a really good CS:GO player, for example. But Rocket League doesn't really have that, existing game knowledge. So it's an interesting swap to go from something like Horizon or to go from a shooter to Rocket League if it's the same person.
Normally, all the Rocket League players who are good and other things are always racing. Like it's always like iRacing or something, right? It's not an FPS, that is for sure. So we'll see. We'll look into it. All right, we're going to send our investigative journalists out there to try and figure out if there is in fact a connection in that one. As it stands, Lido, though, is going to drop it off Draco, force the own goal, 5-0 lead.
Maybe the unknown key formula is not to come from Rocket League from racing games, but to come from something like FIFA. The other half of this game, other than it's played with cars, we are playing soccer. We are playing football, so maybe that's the key factor. I don't know, but yeah, hopefully, if anybody in the chat knows Slip, that'd be really interesting to know.
I'll be curious on that one as we get ready to continue. Still 35 seconds remaining in this. Draco holds things down in the corner. That's still going to be an awkward pinch save made by Jakea, but not enough to kind of flip the map. In fact, that shot's going to wind its way in. 6-0 lead as Lindo just adds on. InyaNet looking like the team to beat here.
InyaNet looking like they are the exact same team that we saw in the Summer Major. That team that came through out of almost nowhere to dominate the scene. I'm hoping that if they make it through this time, that we will be able to see them at LAN. We would have seen them at LAN last Major. However, they made it through, but for whatever circumstances, they weren't actually able to go to the LAN. I think they definitely could make it through today. I think there's every opportunity that this team is going through. Let's hope they can play.
Let's see what they can find. Zed across the Draco. It's a swing and a miss. Lindo won't be able to go too far with that one either way. It is going to be a game one victory for this blue side. InyaNet, dominant performance to start things off. Yeah, Jakea got 5 shots on target, but nothing going in. InyaNet now 1 game away.
5 shots on target just from Jakaya, and then an extra 2 from Darko and Zed as well to bring the total to 7 shots but no goals is hugely testament to InyaNet's defensive performance as well. I think, we've seen, obviously 6-0 up, we've seen some great goals out of them, but when I guess we're not giving as much credit to the defense as well, managing to block every single one of Apple's possible shots.
Yeah, I mean, we will see where they go from there. Game number 2, though, right around the corner. And if Apple's Apostles are able to bring it back, that would be fantastic for them. But I'm worried, look, there's the other Apple's team. You got Rambo, as mentioned before, with an Apple logo. I'm just wondering, don't you want to be the step above the Apostle? Don't you want to be the leader? Isn't that the secret?
You would think so. Absolutely. But we're now looking to get this next game underway. Apple's Apostles fighting for their lives, trying to stay in this right now. But Formal, what do you do? What do you do with your Apple's Apostles right now, coming up against InyaNet, who just 6-0'd you? What do they need to change? What do they need to do differently?
I mean, am I really the way with how my brain is thinking right now? My first thought is, we'll just score some points, which is probably the least helpful thing you could pass on. But they need that first goal. I think that's the most important thing. And I'm not saying necessarily the first goal in this game, but just their first goal in the series, and kind of build off from that. But where it sits right now, we'll see.
Yeah, I think you're right. Momentum, they definitely need that momentum going into it. And I think all the players on the Apple's Apostles team, I would say that Jakaya is probably the one to do it. I know,
yes.
Obviously, I'm probably picking it's not just the player with the most shots on net Right, I'm so sorry. There are children screaming, next door neighbors screaming outside. I hope that didn't come through.
It's not coming through, but you know.
That was like, that pierced my ears. Got a headset on. Yeah, I think Jakai's definitely on to it.
They might be fans of this Apples team, and there'd be a lot to scream about in that situation. As we can play up this corner. Let's see what Slip can do. Shot across, but it's not in.
Definitely sounds like they're watching the game, that's for sure. Lindo going for a shot on net. Beautiful positioning, manages to read that ball to perfection as it bounces off the backboard. You see Zed going up for it, just can't quite make connection to save it.
It's not quite there, unfortunately, so that will make it a 1-0 lead, just continuing to pile it on. And I'm still trying to do research, right, on the Slip situation, if they are the same as the Overwatch player. And I found the Twitter of the Overwatch player, and there's nothing on there about Rocket. So I'm starting to think it might just be a fan, maybe. I'm still not sure. The investigative reporting, though, is continuing.
Messaging Slip right after this series ends, and we're like, no, you gotta tell us. You gotta tell us right now. We need to know. Darko managing to clear the ball. Jakaya with a really good little flip to get them out of danger right there. We're seeing a lot of midfield play right now. Darko with control off the sidewall, can't quite stay on the ball.
Unable to stick with it. Here we go though. Slip. Flick that one up. Jakaya goes back, but go too much further with it. Draco continuing to play along the side, gets 2 demos, but unfortunately there's just no follow-up. In fact, possession stayed on the orange side backboard, so Apples maybe letting one slip away right there. Draco still fighting demos. He has chosen violence in this second game.
That's one thing we haven't seen enough of today, Coleman, is that like hyper-aggressive play. We know how much it can really ruin another team's confidence. You know how it can get on a team's nerves even. Gets to their mental a little bit. If you destroy a team's mental, then you're kind of putting yourselves ahead of the game. But nonetheless, we've seen Inyanet come through with another goal, putting them 2 up with almost half a game left now.
Yeah, still a fair bit of time remaining in this one. As Draco wins the 50. Now comes Lindo. Try and find a pass across to Rambo. I like it. That pass, unfortunately, doesn't amount to too much there. As it stands, though, still need to see that first goal, and there it is. Finally, we see Apples get on the board.
Finally, this long into the series, we can see Apples starting to step up a little bit now, although we did have there was an unfortunate whiff there, but Darko, a really good pass to make sure he could get that to his teammate in time. And we're going to see the ball kick off again. They've still got plenty of time to come back from this. I think, you know, this game isn't as much of a runaway as the first game was. So Apples are, definitely getting into it a lot more now.
They are, and that's something that they need to be doing. Still 2.5 minutes remaining. You see Zed go across to Draco. Lindo, though, is going to take the shot. Found Jakaya. A lot of space to work with. Ball gets to the middle of the field. Slip underneath. Going to play through the corner. Looking for Lindo, but nope. They're not able to connect, and game's still within striking distance.
No, connection to the ball aside, I think with any teams, even different teams, we're going to see whiffs and mistouches come out here and there. But the one thing I'm really liking about Internet right now is that it seems like they've got a really clear vision. They're not just jumping at the ball for the sake of hitting all. You know, sometimes it's better to leave the ball. Sometimes it's better to look for a pass and go for the shot. And I think that this team really has that kind of intelligence, that in-game intelligence right now. And I think that's definitely helping them to get ahead and manage to get past 1, 2, 3 defenders for a shot. Rambo, take a bow.
Yeah, that was just really well done. Straight through the middle of the 2 defenders. 3-1 lead in your net. Still maybe a little too early to take that victory lap, but we're getting ever closer to it. 1.5 minutes still to go.
Still a little bit of time, but it's going to take a lot out of Apples Apostles right now to come back from this. And right as I've said that, Slip has come in and said, yoink, I'm taking a shot. Managed to get it past both Zed and Darko, who were caught very off guard by this one.
Yeah, this is really strong strength from Slip right there. 4-1 lead. And I'm not sure we're going to be seeing the comeback from Apples Apostles in this one in Yannette. Now, whether or not they'll be able to play in the main event, that is still yet to be seen. Again, they missed out last year by their own. And I don't know the full details of it, but the team had to withdraw. Jakaya, though, will find a second, and maybe this game's not done yet.
He's the kind of player that I've been wanting to see out of Jakaya, and Jakaya I've seen play a fair bit before. I've played with him as well in ODL and six fans and random games here and there, and definitely the type of player who can carry a lobby, who can carry a team. I think he's got the skill and the talent, but sometimes it's just not your day. We've seen a couple of good shots, but not as many as I was hoping.
Yeah, not enough. I think it's the best way of putting it. Rambo's going to find another. That's the 5th for this blue side in Yannette, marching towards this series victory. They're going to be quite happy with themselves, quite chuffed even with how they performed. As time continues to whittle down, we kind of got to look ahead because after this one, we only have one more match after this in the upper bracket, Morgie, and then it's going to be down to that lower half.
Absolutely, and it'll be interesting to see how the teams are going in that lower half, the teams that have dropped down. Got a few familiar faces, a few familiar teammates, so it'll be good to see how they perform and whether they can make it through. Like we said earlier, all of these games that we're seeing on stream now are qualifiers. They will determine whether a team is going to make it through to LAN or not. So it's hugely important now that the teams put their best foot forward.
Yeah, I mean, look, we already know 2 of our matches that are going to be in that lower bracket. The Shadow Wizard Money game will be taking on the Banana Town Legends. Rebiff will be playing Red's Ranch. Flat Rats and the Frequent Flyers are the other teams that have gone through. Quick Chat Champions did actually lose, so that will be interesting. But all that will be happening later in the evening. Our next match after this one will be Scrims World taking on Team Gaming Esports Club. Either way, in Yannette, they got the job done. Take a bow. You're on to the main event.
Yannette is on to the main event yet again. Like we said, hopefully they can actually show to the main event this time. They're definitely a team that we've had our eyes on for a while. The last couple of events, they're a team that obviously have what it takes. I'd be really interested to see how they go in a LAN environment though.
So would I, because I think they would have a chance to really do get a nice good run, one would hope, in that. I mean, they've been performing quite well, and I would love to see them go up against some of the bigger names. That is for sure. Look, again, we only have one more upper match. Team Gaming Esports Club United versus Scrims World. That's going to be happening in a bit, actually. We actually have a bit of time for once. You can take a look at our schedule right there. Some TBCs versus TBCs happening. I love the Team Gaming Esports Club logo.
Looking at it now, I've got it tiny on my screen, but simple's good sometimes. Simple's nice and clean and tidy. And the Scrims World logo is obviously a familiar one that we've seen Scrims World in plenty of events as well. The Shadow Wizard Money Gang logo, that's a classic. We've seen that one going around for a while. And then the rest of the teams, I mean, they're all TCs we're seeing at the moment. We'll see couples without logos. Where are your logos?
We'll see them as they come. You've got time now, Morgie, to make a logo, because we've hit the halfway point, so we're going to be taking a bit of a break. Game number 6. We'll be back at about 4:40 Western, 6:40 Eastern. We'll see you then. Well, back. We are back. We are back, and with some, a little bit of some unfortunate news, Morgie. We only have 4 games remaining now, not 5, due to some circumstance with Apple's Apostles. They're still playing. They're playing their match right now against the Frequent Flyers to qualify into that main event in the lower bracket, but unfortunately, we won't be able to stream that match.
For sure, definitely a match that would have been exciting to watch, but nonetheless, when time's getting a little bit late and players can't make the game, that's totally fine. So it will be going on in the background. That game is still happening. We just won't see it on stream, but it means you guys get to see a little less of us. We'll have 4 series left to go instead of 5, and we are kicking this off with a massive goal there. I was going to pronounce the player's name, but that's going to take me a second. Hang on.
I mean, like, the point is Team Gaming Esports Club getting the first goal on that orange side, taking on Scrims World in blue, and Cytooks?
LR. This player is LR for me now.
LR? Okay, I mean, that name looks like I've been playing some Total War recently. It looks like a Lizardman name. But yeah, either way, don't let Danica Patrick know. Lizardmen are on the pitch scoring the first goals. AJ, though, will respond in time and we're tied 1-1.
Is it kind of a play on, like, the word toxic? Like, it looks like toxic.
C-I toxic?
C-I toxic.
I don't know
how to go about this one. But we are seeing a single game early on, both teams managing to score a goal. AJ with the first goal of the day for Scrims World, also the first goal of the series for Scrims World. AJ was seen around a fair bit as well. He's definitely a popular community, good Rocket League player, as we can see as well, and I think a very valuable part of that Scrims World team.
See if we can find. AJ's going to pop this one up, and 2 defenders will bite from Team Gaming Esports Club. Charizard still keeps it forward, however, as look for maybe a centering touch. Johan actually gets juked out of their shoes. Here comes Sly. Demo's middle of the field might open up a doorway. Here's the pass, but no shot, at least not yet. Possession held by TGEC. Gaming Esports Club actually do wind up starting to lose possession. Great individual effort from Charizard to get that ball out of the corner.
Yeah, Charizard is one of those key players I was keen to see play today, as we talked about at the start of the stream. Alidus Gaming, who did really well last event. Unfortunately, the entire roster or that name is not a part of this event. However, I know Charizard was playing for that roster before he jumped across to the Scrims World roster for this event. And obviously, Alidus did really well last event, and I would attribute a lot of that to Charizard's gameplay. He's definitely a very strong player. And yeah, keen to see him do some damage today. I think it's a good little team with AJ and Johan as well.
Yeah, I mean, I do kind of feel like Scrims World might be the favorites in this matchup, but so far it's been very, very close. Spix has the reset. Not able to follow it up. AJ now is going to pop one up for Cytoxis, who gets a couple resets, gets it back up into that corner as well. Charizard pops it up, but Sly's going to race for it, keeps the pressure on. The Gaming Esports Club will lose out. Charizard has been doing a great job at flipping the map so far. Has been the best defensive performer so far for this blue side.
Definitely, and I think he's a player who really manages to hold on to the ball very well as well, and manages to keep control of the ball, which can be hugely critical in these matches with teams who, like we said earlier, the ranks are going to vary a lot. So it's kind of hard to gauge where a team will sit as a whole. It's not going to, players aren't always going to be consistent with one another rank-wise and skill-wise. So I think holding the ball close is definitely key to the performance.
Yeah, we'll see if that continues. It was almost pass down right there. Gaming is losing possession. Charizard again, when he tries to clear past midfield, this time Sly ready underneath, going to bring it back the other side. But still no goal scored. 100 seconds remaining. Game still tied. This one gearing up to be our closest series yet thus far.
This one looking like it could be our first game 3 yet, if both teams manage to pull their weight and both defensively and offensively, if we can see this kind of tight gameplay continue. We're going to see a lot of players in the midfield now trying to fight for that ball. but the Gaming Esports Club managing to take control. A massive pass to Slide that gets blocked by Johan.
Now Johan will look to set up something, has AJ underneath. Don't connect, ball comes off that post, Spix. That's going to bring it back up that other way. Some cross up, nothing too crazy. 1 minute to go. Chezarod keeps that ball held up high. Under a minute left. AJ will be the one who gets it past Spix all the way into the corner. This could be good for Scrimswirl, but the attack goes awry immediately, and now Slide back the other direction. Isn't able to get past the defense.
The Scrimswirl looking a little bit shaky, pushed back into their half a little bit, obviously more than they would like right now, but we're going to see the ball go up the way of the other, down the other end of the field with Johan taking a shot on net, a little bit too slow though. Both teams now looking for it. We've had a lot of shots on net for me.
We have. It's been a very offensively focused game, yet the scoreline still only sitting one apiece. Chezarod almost with that 150 in front of the net. Pass across right now. However, one was not really, sorry, it was AJ who was too far back, so they're not able to score on this attempt. 5 seconds in regulation. It will be the Gaming Esports Club looking to put this one before overtime away. Shot from Spix is low, and we go to extra minutes.
It's a shame because it looked like that was a good opportunity for Johan, but it seemed like, you know, maybe he could decide whether it's going to be a shot or a pass. Just kind of, it ended up being kind of a mixture of the two. We're going to see AJ now with a bit of a clear, kind of almost went on net. Cytoxic with a flick as well. The ball going to the corner. Neither team able to really capitalize on any opportunities right now.
Off at midfield, AJ off the backboard, top by Spix again. 43 seconds still to go. Toxic looking to throw it down to somebody, finds Chezarod instead. Johan, first touch was good, but the second not where it needed to be.
Almost a very critical double, but just slightly too wide. Gonna see Spix take the ball up the field now, manages to get one touch on it, but blocked by Johan. Toxic taking the ball to the corner as well. Chezarod there to collect the ball. We're gonna see a lot of back and forth between both teams right now. No one holding on to the ball. Potential shot on net, but cannot make the connection.
Oh, it's getting sloppy, Borgie, from both sides right now. It looks like the breakaway Scrimswirl needed. Still a flick up with the bump, but the shot wasn't where it needed to be.
10-minute overtime for it? 10-minute overtime is how this is looking right now. The poor Space Jump trying to schedule these games when we've had delays, tech issues, and
it's
now
good though, because by the time we finish the qualifiers, we're ready for the main event, right? Like that's the plan. Just gotta line everything up. No, this is fine. Very good for, you know, the Apple's Apostles. I think they made the right choice in pushing their game off screen. They had to wait in line after this overtime for sure. With the way how these two teams are looking at it, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the first series that goes to game 3 as well, on screen.
Agreed. This is definitely it's going to be a close series, but these are not the same two teams we saw at the start of this, I was going to say at the series, the start of this game even. These are two completely different teams.
They are very different. As Chezarod throw that one towards the middle slide. Gets the second touch up to the corner. Johan he isn't able to get it around, so it kind of goes back to AJ, who gets demoed from behind. Now we're going to see a shot on as AJ will kind of pop it up. Popped by Johan, but it goes straight to Toxic. And I mean, look, the Gaming Esports Club, they've been looking for their opportunity. They haven't had a good shot in a while. Spix nearly forces the issue, but can't get it past the 3 defenders.
Well, to me, it's almost like the visual equivalent of a lullaby. Like the ball's just going back and forth. And if it wasn't for this copy in my hand right now, it would be putting me asleep a little bit, because we're just not seeing the same kind of shots, the same kind of quality shots. I know we saw a shot just then, but it's just been a few minutes of some really relaxed gameplay, I guess.
Yeah, it is you don't see that same sense of urgency, I suppose, that you might expect from an overtime that is not nearly 4 minutes. Although that lob shot should have gone in. It comes off the post and out. Scrimsworld thought they had finally put this one away, but yeah, you know, we were joking about 10 minutes before, Morgie. I'm not so sure anymore.
I'm so sorry. If I've jinxed this, look, on me. But we're already 4 minutes into overtime. It's very, very, very likely at this point. Although we're seeing both teams put on the back foot in defense. Chazarad there having to go very, very high to clear that off the backboard. See the Gaming Esports Club put on some pressure now. Hopefully we've got one demo. 3 attackers going for a shot on net. Can't get it past the defenders though.
Defenders just holding the fort, guarding both the posts, but they don't have a lot of boots in their name. This could be really good. Slide almost had the dunk. Johan has to play off their own backboard, and LR was there. Exquisite backwards.
This is a best of 3 overtime. This is going to end up being the equivalent of a best of 7 normal. I think at this point we're going to see the defenders really pushed to the crossbar to get that save, but Johan got it nonetheless. He's taking the ball down to the other corner of the field. You're going to see AJ with a good block to manage to keep possession, but not before Sly manages to clear the ball upfield as well to speak. Sly going to take a shot on net, goes for the backboard, can't quite get the double though.
Shot, post, it's over. Game 1 taken by the Gaming Esports Club.
Oh, 5 minutes into OT, and that was just game 1. We might be on for a bit of a match, ladies and gentlemen. This is a best of 3. I will remind everybody, but likely our first game 3 of the day, maybe. Maybe.
I mean, it would be pretty big if it does go that way. Again, we are still in the upper bracket too, so the losing team will get a second chance later this evening. But for right now, I mean, that first game felt like a coin flip, and I kind of expect the second one to go that way as well. We will see. I am a little bit surprised though, because I thought Scrimsworld probably would have come in maybe as the favorites in this matchup, and they really struggled to kind of put the ball in the net.
I know what you mean, Paul. I think looking at both sides, Toxic I'm not too familiar with, obviously, with my not knowing how to pronounce the name at the beginning of this, but Spix and Sly I've seen both play before, and you know, both talented players, both very team-oriented players, as we can see from their gameplay then. But yeah, I would have to agree with you. Going into this, I would have put Scrimsword as the favourite, knowing how much of a talented player Chazarad is, knowing AJ. Johan I haven't seen as much of, but clearly gels well with those other 2 players.
And again, I'd like to remind people too, because I'm sure there are some people watching along who are probably thinking at this stage, well, wait, hold on. Gaming Esports Club underdog, these guys won, you know, the winter event last year, and they've been runner-up in spring and summers and all these past events. But as I mentioned before, history doesn't exist before, you know, December last year. All right, so. But no, look, it is still a team that has seen success. I do acknowledge that. Personally, I'm less familiar with the team players, but so far they are showing why this is a team that has, you know, made finals and have won Space Jump events in the past.
Absolutely, a finals deserving team. I think potentially, I would say both of these teams are top 8 teams. If we look at the 18 teams that have signed up, I think these teams are both deserving of that top 8 spot. Would I put them both in a top 4 though? It's hard to say. I think top 4 I'd be looking at Rebid, I'd be looking at Apples is American, In Your Net probably as well. That 4th position is probably a little bit more up for grabs. But you know, it could be a battle of these 2 teams here for that 4th spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely how it's kind of playing out right now, at least in my eyes. Super impressive opening win, but a very low-scoring affair. Both teams' defensives have been on point. It really makes you feel that the first goal is going to be the one that carries the most importance here in this second game. At the moment, it is looking good for the Gaming Esports Club. LR again, the one who puts it through, and it's an early lead for the orange side.
Yeah, massively important, this goal right here. Managing to just put it on the left. It's kind of funny seeing 2 defenders on that left side of the net and the ball managing to just slipped past them when the entire right side of the net was open. But nonetheless, very, very critical placement to get that shot.
Exactly where it needed to be, as we're going to see. Yonan put on a shot, and just like in the last game, the first goal is immediately equalized upon.
That is the back and forth nature of these two teams right here. I feel like as soon as one team is behind, they don't want to get left in the dust. Johan managing to, well, a few seconds after the last goal, score another to equalize this game. That is huge. We're going to see a shot now, though. An open net for AJ. Where are the defenders?
That is a very good question, and Sly just got beat, but nobody rotated back, Morgie. Why? That is a lot of faith in your third member to get it clear in that situation.
That is a lot of faith, and potentially a bit of a lack of common there as well, I would say. If I was third man and I saw somebody charging me, I would be screaming for somebody to come back and help. But yeah, both other players seeming to rotate forward is an interesting move.
We'll see how this one will play out. Still a lot of time left in game number 2, but with the 5-minute plus overtime still probably on everybody's mind. You'd have to think, this equalizer could be a bit more difficult than in a more traditional playing game. And if Scrimsworld can get themselves a third, that could be enough to put game 2 out of reach. Either way, Spix stays behind the ball, had the reset, but didn't make contact with the second flip. Now we're looking at fakes, now we're looking at bumps, and it's an own goal to tie things up.
The mind games going on in this play, right? Two fakes and then the slight touch to set up the own goal that's interesting. But I think, all the football players kind of not sure of what to do, how to approach that. If that's when comms come into hand, someone's gonna rush quicker than that. I think that was like a little bit too long for a challenge.
Yeah, it was a very interesting play right there. I know the triple fake, it worked, got the goal. However, still will need one more if they want to put this one away here in game number 2. Halfway through our second affair. We're still tied, but Spix could be leading the charge to change it. Pass down, shot on, beautiful strike from Sly, and it's a 3-2 lead.
113 kilometers an hour was the power on that shot, and perfect amount to get that past AJ, who any slower would have made it to the ball in time, would have knocked it out of the net, but would only make contact with his nose there, and the ball was going straight past him.
Love seeing passes like that work as well. Gaming Esports Club United. Very, very strong. I'm trying to think what other names you can put on that. Only 4 words if they could do more. Like Gaming Esports Club United Federation Association Society of Players. Something like that.
That's at that point we're not using the full team name for. We're just acronyming the team name at that point. But I'm glad they're limited to 4 words. TPEC is enough for us tonight, I think.
I mean, they're doing pretty good as well. Got to learn to respect that name, especially if they can make it to that next round, to that main event stage. Minute and a half away from it, but that's going to be a tense minute and a half. You'd have to imagine Jazz Arad trying to clear it up the middle. Can't do too much with the second touch. Now ball in an awkward spot for this blue side. Sly leading the charge. Wants to go underneath. Great recovery by AJ to make the save.
Perfect touch from AJ. Just going to show how important it is to keep your mental strong and not rush a ball like we were saying earlier. We've seen some teams tonight that have just charged the ball as quickly as they can, and that's not always the move. We see another shot on target. Now we've seen a lot of opportunities and a lot of close shots for us.
We have. It's been, on the precipice of some amazing shots, but just nothing coming together. Here we go. It's all on LR. Second touchdown, straight in the middle. And that could be the dagger in this game. A 2-goal difference with only 32 seconds left.
Can I say, though, the setup from, was that Spix or Sly? No, I think that was Sly. The setup to pop the ball up from the back of the car perfect touch on that. To give that shot. I'm not going to say an easy shot to Stotoxic, but obviously that was a hard shot. That was a beautiful double, but the setup really made a difference there.
Nick straight down the middle, 5-2 game. I feel like excitement's starting to brew. You'd have to imagine. I do believe Gaming Esports Club Federation Union Association and company will be going through. They will be returning to that main event as time whittles down to the lower bracket. Unfortunately, with this blue side Scrims World, they'll have to do it the hard way. One last goal for the road, though. Johan puts one in.
Johan just accidentally yoinking that shot there off Chazarat in the right place at the right time, who knows? But yeah, just a little something at the end there so they don't feel too bad, but it's not looking like they're going to come back to nothing these last 10 seconds.
I mean, it will be interesting to see if Scrims World will be able to bring it back on that lower side. Obviously, that match will be happening later tonight. I believe they will be playing against the Platte Rats later this evening. But for now, this match done and dusted. Team Gaming Esports Club, they advance. Our fourth team through in the upper bracket, joining the likes of Inyanet, Apples is American, and the 30-year-olds. Yes, 30-year-olds did qualify for the main event, but that just means we only have 3 matches left here, Morgie.
Exciting to see, and definitely a well-deserved win for this side. As we said, we will see Scrims World again up against the Platte Rats for one of those final 3 series of the night. It's hard to say, Formal, because I think if the Platte Rats are actually like the 30-year-olds, if we're genuinely true to our name right now, and that is a team of platinum-ranked players, I
doubt it. I would love it, but I'm not seeing that. Either way, I think we're going straight into it, though. So no rest for the wicked. We are streamlining ourselves straight to that lower bracket. So yeah, that's good. That's good. I want to keep this going. All right. That was our longest series yet because of a 5.5-minute overtime, but we just keep chugging through because, I mean, come on, got to keep the good momentum, right?
Longest series yet and still not a game 3.
Yeah, still no game 3s on stream.
How have we managed this? We've got 3 left, Formal. I wouldn't jinx us too early. I feel like I feel like we're gonna have 3 best of 3s now. 3 game 3s now.
Ooh,
next 3 series.
I don't. You know what? I think the most likely one to do that, if Rebif doesn't have their 3rd member, I think that's the one where we see the game 3.
Really? Who'll Rebif up against?
They are up against I believe Red's Ranch.
Ah, okay. Ooh, interesting. That will be interesting.
As it stands, though, we are now going to having it confirmed the Shadow Wizard Money Game versus Kwinana Town Center. I believe it's the Kwinana Town Center, if I am not mistaken on that. Town Legends, not the Town Center. Okay, too much Stardew Valley. But this is going to be an interesting match. Again, we saw Shadow Wizard Money Game play before, and I have to admit, was not their strongest performance. That said, the Kwinana Town Legends, first time seeing them on stream. Desku, Kayosu, and Ice Bear Bob, who might have the best name, but I can't say I'm familiar with any of these members.
No, I can't say that I am either. But we've had a few teams like that tonight, and like I said earlier, it's always good to see some new, fresh names. And you know, we were talking about it earlier on in the night, but like it's huge that we've got events like this. And you know, a massive shout out to the Western Australian government and to PERTH as this tournament will be a part of that event. You know, sponsored by Tourism Western Australia. PERTH Tourism. It's huge to have events like this and to have a lot more local teams sign up. 18 teams is huge for a state level event, I think. So we're going to see a lot of names we haven't seen before. Welcome to the scene. We're excited to have you all compete. And I'm keen to see how this team performs today. I think Shadow Wizard Money Gang, they're a strong team that we've had them around for quite a while. We know these team members. Can they beat this new side? We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think so. You know, I'm calling the shots. Apparently, I'm sending them in We're going. Here we go. Game number 1. Hopefully. I'm always seeing 2 Quiana members. Okay, so there we go. All right, everybody is jumping in. So Quiana is going to be on the blue side. The Shadow Wizard Money Gang, they are going to be in orange. And see if the Shadow Wizards can punch their ticket through. Now, again, for Ice Bear, Bob, and Kaiosu, this is their first Space Jump event. Detsuku does have a top 8 in the past, has finished in 7, a part of the Ground 2 lineup last year. While that performance is strong, getting back into the top 8 could be difficult against the Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
Absolutely, and we've seen the Shadow Wizard Money Gang, whether they're one of the top 4 teams would be up for debate, but I think they're definitely a strong top 8 team. So managing to knock them out, at least for that spot, would be huge. And we've already seen off the bat Detsuku get a massive goal for this Quiana side.
Detsuku, team captain, first goal across. Big lead right now for this blue side Quiana. They can keep this momentum going. Shadow Wizard Money Gang could be in that position again, just like last event, where they'll be relying on, potentially a team dropping out to get their spot on stage. Now again, would like to remind people too that once you do get to the main event, it is single elimination. It's no longer double. The quarterfinals will continue the trend of best of 3s, and then from the semifinals onward, played on Sunday. That's when the best of 5s come into play. Still, 4 minutes on the clock right now. Detsuku will take it across the middle of the field.
And just as a reminder to everybody, if you have not gotten your tickets yet, the tickets are free, but you do have to get tickets to secure your spot in that audience at the event at PERTH. So if you're Perth-based, if you're not Perth-based and you want to fly over, go get your tickets. Very, very exciting gameplay to be had on that Monday.
Everything on stage just feels different, right? Like it elevates everything when you get on stage. 3.5 minutes to go. Maka hits an equalizer.
Exactly. It's basically RLCS, right? It's like if you always, I know I've always been playing RLCS and watching the games there, and if you guys have too, then it's basically the same thing. Trust me. Watching anyone play on stage, it's exciting. Go do it. Get your tickets. If you want to see Reba, if you want to see In Your Net, some of those other teams that we've seen already qualified through today, you've got to go for it.
Yeah, I think it will be a fun time, of course, part of the Winter Festival happening across PERTH this week. One of those many events still on the roll. Crack to get on a roll themselves. Going to be looking to connect to Maka with the ball held up high, though. Can't do too much with it. Go across the middle of the field, it will be Crack again. Trying to play setup for the rest of the team. Nobody middle of the field, though, in a good spot to commit. It looked like Alex didn't know if they want to go for the ball or the bump. Pressure being held, though. Still no goal.
It's a shame when we see opportunities like that occur. Obviously, Crack put in a lot of effort to get the ball into that position for a teammate, but it can be hard to commit or to be wary of potentially overcommitting when you're rotating back. So could have ended up in a counter attack. We're going to see Crack with a shot on net, just wide, gets the block. Can't get the second touch on net as well. Alex is going to pass it back. Detsuku there to demo, and you're going to see Maka with a demo, but can't quite get the ball up.
There we go, Crack. It's the 50. Here comes Alex. Ball gets put up for grabs. Maka stalking something. Is going to get a bit of a dribble across. 50 though. Won by this blue side, but they won't be able to do too much with it after that demo on an attacker. That should help this defensive side, but not quite yet. In fact, Alex returning the favor, and eventually the ball gets pushed past the middle of the field.
Seen a lot of shots coming out of the Shadow Wizard Money Gang, but unfortunately nothing, it seems, with enough power. We've had a few very soft shots coming out of the team on net, very easy to save by the defenders. Crack with another center, Alex there to clean up and try and take the shot, but can't get past the defenders.
Go Crack. Go lob it across the middle of the field. Detsuku try to play through the corner. Maka now going to try to take one over the top. Shot from Alex, not on, but the ball's on the dangerous spot. How are the defenders missing that one? Crack makes it 2-1.
Detsuku just seemed to panic that tiny bit after that first shot. We saw that clinical shot, and just like that. I'm gonna put it down to nerves, formal. That's all I can say about that one.
Okay, yeah, that's a shot scored.
Oh no, we've seen worse tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I just got a little distracted by one of the profile pictures.
What is the one? Which one?
The one that's me.
I can't see. This is what I hate about being an Epic account. I can't see any of the profile pictures. I'm so gutted. What's everyone laughing at? I can't see it.
Yeah, I'm the only one who can see him because again, Stream has him off as well. So we're just going to ignore that and move on to
wait,
Crack.
I just completely blew past the fact that you said it's you. Wait, what?
Yeah, Crack has a picture of me. It kind of threw me off. I apologize. I wouldn't take it as a compliment. Just not able to get that goal.
Paul's number one biggest fan. Yeah, I'd take that as a compliment.
Shadow Wizards can recognize other Shadow Wizards. Okay, that's how it works. Wizard Towers are strong. Ooh. So too is going to be this result from the Shadow Wizard Money Gang. They're going to take game number one as the ball hits the ground. Things are looking good for the team in orange.
Absolutely, this Shadow Wizard Money Gang team absolutely wanting to secure their spot at the next land, back-to-back lands. That would be huge. That would definitely be what they're aiming for. But they got to get past this Quinana side first, and you know they may be new, but they're definitely putting the pressure on.
They are, but at that same token, definitely a lot more pressure was coming from Shadow Wizards. You can see some of the stats at the end: 11 shots to 4. Normally with the shot differential like that, you'd expect a few more points to come from that Shadow Wizard side, but where they're sitting right now, in a pretty good spot, one game away from getting back to that main event for Quinana. I mean, they just are going to have to find ways to get more offensive pressure.
True. I mean, I would give credit to their defensive work, but other than that slight whiff on the save, I would say that they did pretty well defensively. To block that many shots is fair enough. Less random whiffs and we're good, and then we got a game on our hands.
I mean, that's just, yeah, they were great on defense until they weren't, and that was the difference in the game. And normally that just seems like a well obvious, but that was a egregious miss, unfortunately. That did wind up costing them game number one. You'd have to think if a save gets made, maybe the game still stays, a bit more competitive, a little bit longer. Here we go, though. Game number 2 kicking off. Must win for Quinana. If they lose this, they are out of the Space Jump event.
They wouldn't want that for their debut into the event. Of course, you want to come in all guns blazing. You want to come into an event like this as the brand new team, as the new kid on the block, and do some damage. Still got some time left. We are in game 2 of a best of 3, so plenty of opportunity. And although we saw a lot of shots coming out of Shadow Wizard Money Gang last game, it was only a 2-1 score. So, we've still got plenty of time left.
What's your take on the moist skin that Ice Bear Bob is using?
I know the skin, but I need to see it.
Well, you're going to look at it as the ball sails over his head. Crack gets credit for the first goal.
Massive shot from Crack down the other end of the field. I reckon they've had better.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan. Moist skin. I reckon they've done better. Yeah, it's a little bit messy.
I like the last one. Looking one. Either way.
Yeah.
Good goal from Crack, and they're looking for another as well. Not able to get the second touchdown and in.
I reckon a lot of the RLCS skins we've seen in the past that, I feel like the best ones have been the ones that haven't tried too hard is probably the way of explaining it, but the simple ones are definitely.
Alex is going to go ahead and find a second goal as well, and Shadow Wizard Money Gang playing with confidence that we have not seen them have, I feel like, all evening long, coming when they need it the most. 2-goal lead, 1 minute into this deciding matchup. And again, we could be on pace to be denied a game 3. Mackup finds a shot, but the defense is there.
I mean, you did say it earlier, Formal, that this Shadow Wizard Money Gang roster is a roster that comes into a tournament cold, but heats up very quickly once the pressure is put onto them. When it comes down to do or die, they go really, really hard, and we can see that now. 3-0 up. This is a different team to the team we saw in the earlier series.
When I said that as well, I was trying to make a reference to the stupid Arby's meme, and But it's coming true, though. It's proof that all memes are based on reality, right? Desku's shot will be missed by Alex on the line.
Desku managing to keep the ball in the corner, though. Putting it up to Ice Bear Bob. He's trying to put the pressure on. All three defenders jumping for the ball. Maka the only one with boost right now. Crack managed to pick up a little bit. You can see the ball taken into the corner. Crack with the centre. Ice Bear Bob, though, there to bring the ball back up to the other end of the field.
Bob. On Crack. Looking for a shot. It's coming off the backboard. No. Actually found by Desku instead. That's Kayasu. Really get the clear that they wanted initially. Ball still will find its way on that orange side of the pitch. A 3-goal difference, 3 minutes remaining. Quiana, they came into the series firing, but again, they're just struggling to find offensive pressure.
I definitely would like this to go to a game 3 just for the opportunity to say Ice Bear Bob a few more times, because the more and more this game goes on, and the more I say it, the more and more I'm deciding that it's probably my favorite this one today. But Alex is making this really, really difficult for this Banana side to stay in the tournament, putting Shadows and Money Gang 4-0 up in this second game. This is a hard comeback.
Yeah, this is absolutely just turning into a very strong performance from the Shadow Wizard Money Gang, a main event qualifying performance, dare I say, because they're not stopping. Alex gets a 5th.
I think the one player that I am wanting to see a little bit more from on the Banana side is Kaisu. I think that there may be a little bit of untapped potential there. I'm seeing a lot of play between the other two players, and Kaisu a little bit quiet in the background. It seems more so. So if he manages to connect a little bit more with the ball, or gel a little bit more with the other two teammates, I think they could get maybe a couple of goals, but it's going to be hard to get 5 even just to equalise.
It is going to be a challenge, and I do agree. So we'll see if they can find ways to piece it all together. Alex, Ice Bear Bob almost finds his way about to get to the net. 2 minutes, 5 goals. Back against the wall. Morale probably not where it needs to be. You'd have to imagine with this 6 goal right here, that's most likely the dagger that's going to put the Shadow Wizards into that main event.
Absolutely. See Maka coming in with the nail in the coffin there, with putting Shadow Wizard Money Gang up by a 6-goal lead is massive. Do I think that they've had enough? No. I don't think that they're going to slow down anytime soon. I think that they're going to go for a high differential. I think that this team would be a little bit more relaxed now, knowing that this pretty well guarantees their spot into land, but I think we'll see some miracles yet.
They can find Maka. Swings and misses. That's good. That's the play from the midfield. Too much more winded either. Still a minute and a half remaining. Yeah, Morgan. I think we're good. I think I'm feeling good that the Shadow Wizard Money Gang is going through.
In saying that, though, huge testament to Quinana for the first game to manage to keep that really, really close. And obviously, it's hard debuting for the first time, regardless of whether it's a LAN or an online tournament. It's hard coming in as that newbie on the block, and it can be really, really nerve-wracking as well. So I think that they have played well today. The second game has gotten a little far away from them, but it happens. We've seen it happen with pro teams. So I'll be excited to see them back next event.
I'm excited for our next match as well, because it's the one that I said will probably go 3. Rebiff versus Red's Ranch is going to be that next matchup. We are going to see Crack. Ooh, bit of a swing and a miss right there. It said the pinch will find its way to the opposite corner. The ball will make its way towards that middle of the field. Crack wants to race behind it. Desku kind of dribbles it around to themselves. Not wanting to be shut out, might not matter. Double commit does enough for the save, and then Maka clears it to the other side.
I wonder if we're confirmed with Rebiff still only having 2 players at this point. I wonder if they have managed to snag one of their thirds to come around for the game. It'll be highly important for them at this point if they want to secure that win. But as we can see in this game, we are going to see Shadow Wizard Money Gang go through, secure this series, go through to LAN. Massive shout out again to Banana for playing, but they will be knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope that realistically either Caden or Rothy would be able to show up for Rebiff, because if not, they could be in a bit of trouble. But yes, the Shadow Wizard Money Gang, they are through. Last event, they came up one match short of that finals. This time, maybe they can kind of break through and get into that top 2.
I think last event we did see they were a little bit up and down with their gameplay. They had some series like I think it was in the I should have this up on my screen, but I think it was the quarterfinals. They lost to the God Aliens.
Yep.
That lost them their spot through to the semis, through to the LAN, but then obviously with the DQ made it through to the LAN where they actually beat the God Aliens. And
taking advantage of their second chance.
This is a LAN team. This is a team that does well at LAN. They're through again. Now they're a threat.
And we'll see how much of a threat they will be. For us, though, we're going to be taking a break before we finish off the day. Again, 2 more series still to go. Our next matchup will be Rebiff versus Red's Ranch. And then following that, our final match of the evening, Scrims World versus Platts Rats, happening off stream. The Frequent Flyers did beat Apples Apostles, so the Frequent Flyers, they are through alongside the Shadow Wizard Money Gang. 2 more spots left. We'll figure it out in about 10 minutes' time. Two games remaining, Morgie, and over the break, unfortunately, we didn't catch it, but I heard the glass smashing and the music blaring because from out of nowhere, Rebiff, their third member, has arrived. This team is back to full strength, and unfortunately for their opponents, I think that's going to make this lower qualifying matchup that much more difficult for the Reds Ranch side.
Yeah, definitely. I was excited to see how it was going to play out with Red's Ranch versus a 2-man Rebiff roster, but I think you're right, Formal. Now having the third man makes this team all the more dangerous. This is a team that we would have maybe seen fly through the upper bracket, so for them to be in the lower bracket right now with their full squad is terrifying.
It really is, and so we'll see how it will play out. Lobby just being finalized now, and when it is, we'll be able to get into it and get into this matchup. But if with Rebiff returning back to full strength, you'd have to think very likely they're back in a favorite position to go far in this tournament. But unfortunately, because they dropped to that lower bracket, that means it's going to be a tougher matchup come quarterfinals. I'd be really curious to see, who they wind up against now if they do get through, and which unfortunate team could be up against them in the first round.
I mean, I think it makes it all the more interesting because I think that the team that I would have put to take down Rebiff, if at all, would have been the Apples' American team. I think that's probably the strongest bet to take this team down. Does this mean that they're going to end up on opposite sides of the bracket until the grand final formal?
I'm doing the research. The research is being done. The numbers are being crunched. We have people working tirelessly behind the scenes, and from the looks of things, look, India Net's going to be playing the frequent flyers. Apples is American gets the Shadow Wizard Money Gang. So we still have, the matchup against the 30-year-olds, which I imagine wouldn't be the winner of this match. I believe the winner of this match gets Team Gaming Esports Club, which would put India Net potentially on the same side as Rebiff if they each get through.
That'll be an interesting matchup. I know I said Apples is American would be the team that I would think would take down Rebiff, but India Net I'd put I'd still put them third. I'd still put them under Apples is American, but not by far.
That, of course, is assuming Rebiff gets the win. Getting an opening kickoff goal definitely is going to help us. And they are at full strength. Rothy back as well, so this is the full Rebiff side. Reds Rants, though, they have, Tankankerous, tough one to pronounce. The Existor, someone who just happens to exist, and, of course, Hamster Swag XX, but they're still down 2-0.
It is not looking good for them to be down 2-0 with 13 seconds, but as you mentioned, having Rothy back as well does put his team at its full roster, at its full strength. Justice for Jai, we're missing Jai here. Jai could make all the difference, but I don't know, Paul. I think this would be the end of this other side here.
I think Red's France, though, might be my favorite. In terms of consistency of just player names down the board. I don't know. I'm a little sad that we're only seeing them now.
Yeah, no, I get that. Are there any names that stick out in particular to you?
Well, I think here's the thing. I think, the obvious choice is obviously XX Hamster Swag XX, but I kind of like the Existor. Like, that to me, that tickles my fancy because it's such a, it's kind of like a self-deprecation name, which I always enjoy. So go get him, the Existor. Keep on existing.
No, I get what you mean. Not the competitor, not the winner necessarily, but the Existor. I do like it. Kate Bobby coming in with a bang into the left corner of the net. Puts this side up 3-0 already. I think they are going to maybe relax a little bit. I don't think we need to see the game develop differential go too high here, but this is not a team you want coming up against in the whole bracket.
It's definitely not a team you want to hit in that lower bracket, but it's just, it's a testament to OCE events. It feels like no matter what, a favorite's going to drop into a match there you wouldn't expect him to be and ruin some upstart young journey from the squad that gets a much tougher draw of things than maybe they deserve. 4-0 lead, though. The pass is looking very, very clean on the Rebiff side.
Yeah, definitely just very, very critical, although that was a pass of, I'm going to try Tankankerous. That was a pass off Tankankerous to set up that goal, so a little bit unfortunate there, was going for the clear. We've seen Matthew take the ball up into the egg, gets the easy reset, can't quite get the flip on net though, never mind. Does it anyway, gets a pass to two defenders who just couldn't get up to the goal in time.
Yeah, sick reset. Rothy won't find the bump, and that's now going to be a 5-0 lead.
It almost looked like Rothy was trying to get in the way there. Trying to throw Matthew off a little bit. But I think we probably will see some of that this game.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to take it all too seriously. They have a bit of fun with it. Might go for some really nice shots. Maybe we'll see goal of the day in this series. I think that's what it's
We'll see. We'll see how it comes through right now. I mean, look, this is a unfortunate matchup again for Red's Ranch in this one, but it is going to be, I think, a reminder on why we both rated this Rebuff side so highly coming into the day. As 5 goals, 2 minutes, some of them looking quite effortless for this squad. It's not without reason we rate this team. These are 3 very, very, very strong players.
Absolutely, 3 very, very talented, experienced players as well. I know we've seen all 3 of these players in other online events, in LANs, playing as much as they possibly can. I think we've got some ranked grinders on the team as well. So good to see that their love of the game really shines through, especially when it comes into a tournament setting.
Yeah, and we're going to see some pressure on target right there, not coming through. There's a reason why they won Space Jump before. Matthew has won various high school events in the past as well, a couple years ago. Rothy has been in the scene for a long, long time. They play competitively at like a RLTS bubble scene level at minimum. So again, it's just strong from top to bottom. And unfortunately for the Exister Hamster Swag and Co, this is going to be a good learning experience, dare I say, for them. Just kind of showing, what it's like when you play against, the experience from this orange side. Actually, don't connect on that point.
Exister Hamster Swag and Co is how I will now be referring to this team. But I definitely agree on what you're saying, Gordon. I think that regardless, win or lose, opportunities like this are really, really critical to just play a growth. We see that in LCS and in pro play as well, that when you have teams to play against, when you have better teams who are going to crush you, then you learn to step up the game.
And also, just to kind of respond to what Invalid Awesome was saying in chat right now, these guys are winning the LAN. Yes, they are my prediction to win it. However, I'm not saying it's a guaranteed thing because Apple's is American exists. And I think if those 2 teams do meet in the finals, which is looking like it's projected to be, not only is that going to be an exciting matchup, but it feels like that's going to be the matchup between, the veterans of the scene that have been around for a while versus the most promising up-and-comers, for sure, in this event. So, yeah, I'm not writing this one off as a guaranteed victory for Rebuff all the way through, but, I mean, we are seeing the difference on this Rebuff side of what happens when they have, a full-strength lineup compared to a 2v3 when playing with the sub.
Yeah, absolutely. And, yeah, I totally echo Formal's thoughts on that. They look good and they are the team that are, they are the number 1 seed in this event, but there are other teams in this that we saw earlier on in the night who can absolutely challenge them. And there are so many factors that come into play. A team that performs really well in online events may not necessarily be good at LAN events, although we know this team has that experience. It really does come down to the day. We've all had the slow car bug before. Things happen, and it's never a clear win.
Nothing is ever guaranteed, but well, you know what? That's not true. Game 1, I think, is guaranteed at this stage. It's going to go Rebuff's way. 8-0 lead, 20 seconds to maybe get us into the double-digit club. Although with the Exister's touches looking very unlikely that will be the case, as next goal will be saved. More pressure's coming on, though. Bumps happening on the outside. Caden won't get the bumps required. Timer does tick-tock its way down to 0, and game 1 goes in favor of Rebuff.
With an 8-goal lead, we're going to see the ball touch the ground, maybe not be a one-more shot. Technically, as credited to Kaydeni, who got a nice little touch here to bump the ball into net. Exister couldn't quite get the save accidentally. Look, it's one of those own goals that's not an own goal. The ball was going in regardless. Tried the best to save it. Unfortunately, just couldn't knock it out in time. It wasn't going to make a huge impact on the result of the game.
As you were speaking, I don't know if it came across on stream or not, but that R2-D2 sound effect was just going wild at the end there. But yeah, I was just wonder in those situations at the end, like, because you have more competitive experience, obviously, than I do here. Do players, sometimes when you're down this much and it's 0 seconds, like, just bang it in your own net just to score something? Because that kind of looks like what the Existor did intentionally, almost at the very end of that.
If I'm down 8-0,
yeah,
and the ball is just dangling in front of my net, then I'm gonna slam it into the net. If it's mid game, if it's the last few seconds of the game, if it's mid game, then I probably wouldn't. I'd probably go for
it has to be 0
save or
seconds.
But it has to be 0 seconds. Oh yeah, then I reckon 99% of the Rocket League population is slamming that into the net.
I'm surprised I don't see it more often, right? Like in games where you've already lost like 3-0, 0 seconds left, and the ball's kind of going towards your own net. It's something that I thought would happen. I don't know. I feel like I would do it. Maybe to the detriment and annoyance of my team. Either way, here we go. Game number 2, game 1, a 9-0 victory for the Rebiff side. Question on my mind right now: can they get into double digits?
We shall see, but you know what, Formal? If I'm autopiloting, then it's just you revert back to safe ball. I've been in ranked games before where my 2 teammates who I've played against with have gone into we're gonna own goal at 0 seconds mode, and I feel like I'm playing 1v5 trying to protect my net. So it depends on the game. It depends on what everyone else is doing. We're going to see Rothy now centering the ball, looking for Matthew, who shoots it a little bit too high and a little bit too far to the backboard. Hey Denny, though, managing to keep possession, going for a double off the wall, didn't quite have the boost to get there.
I find that pressure is still not really able to get it through. Now, I was trying to figure out, what Red Ranch is a reference to, because the team logo, I'm not claiming that it is, but it looked like AI art to me, and I just did look up Red's Ranch, and I found a bunch of ranches in America, but nothing in WA, which surprises me, because WA is like the red state, right? Like, you would think there'd be a Red's Ranch in all of Western Australia.
I mean, we do have an Apples' American team. We might have another American reference in one of these other teams. Why maybe it's an American. But there's not one in WA. We're gonna see another shot on net by Rocky. Just shoots it a little bit too wide. Tankanker's able to get the ball in time though to block it. Hey Denny, getting that a little bit close to net.
Seeing a bit more confidence coming from the Reds Ranch side right there. Those challenges were not something that we saw before. And goals like this is how you break the confidence of your opponents. Matthew with an insanely mechanical shot.
I was trying to defend that, and I got scored on like that. I can understand why the mental that is devastating, and that is the type of play we see out of Matthew, who is that experienced RLCS. Used to be Rookie of the Year, up-and-coming talent, not so up-and-coming anymore, but he's been around for a decent while now. Hey Denny, trying to shoot past 1, 2, 3 defenders and put them up 2-0.
Yeah, that was great. Off that backboard, Cadetny shot. Boom, 2-0 lead. A slower start for Rebiff, but they're back where they last left off, just putting points across that will.
This is the Rebiff we were expecting from the start of the night. Unfortunately, they did begin having 2 of these players missing. We had, as we getting in now and you missed the start of the stream, we had Jar filling in for a 2-man roster. That's how he's begun tonight, and that is why Rebiff is down to the lower bracket, not because of Jar, but because they were having to play 2v3 in the first couple of series they played. You're going to see Matthew now with a beautiful double touch off the bottom of his car, off the back wall, shot on as well, can't get it on top.
Able to be put through just yet, still 2.5 minutes to go in this one. As Rothy looks to connect to Matthew. Now follows it up, ball comes through the corner in front of the net. Here comes the shot, Caden, he just drops it in.
What was this touch from Rothy as well? Look at the double, what kind of that? It almost pinched a little bit, but it was just, I don't know, I feel like you see that in any other series tonight that's not intentional, but I wouldn't put it past Rocky to have that planned out in the team.
I mean, yeah, it really was on the replay where I could appreciate how technical that setup was. Actually insane from Rothy. fourth goal found by them as well. But yeah, going back to that previous goal, I guess it's just that thing where you almost get so used to it's like, okay, ball's going to come through the corner. Here comes the centering touch. I was looking more at the results, Morgie, than I was at the process of how it got there. That was Rothy is playing next level.
Absolutely, Rothy really putting in the effort right now to secure this win in the second game. Oh, I hate to say it. How have we gone this entire night with not a single game 3? We were looking forward to it. For anybody in the chat listening right now, we were having a little in the chat while we were on break, and we were saying, okay, this has got to be it. We're going to have a 2v3 situation. This is going to game 3, and then we're told, okay, Rebif has their not only their third man, but they have their full roster back. Like, okay, all right, we've got one game left. We've got one series left. I've never wanted a game to go to the full length more than I do right now. Does somebody give me a game 3?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. We are due for that game 3, but I don't think it's happening in this series. I think it's going to happen maybe in the last series. Oh, Scrim's World, though. They can be pretty tough. We'll see. Rothy going to the corner, looking for the next touch. Over to Kadeni. Tries to drop it in. It's not there. Because, yeah, I'm nervous about the last series as well, because it's Scrim's World versus Plat players.
Are they actually Plat players? So
I doubt it. They can't be. They can't actually be Plat.
They can't. Yeah, they've made if they've made it through this far, then they can't actually be Plat. Yeah, I don't know. How did we have a 5.5 minute overtime and that series didn't go to game 3?
Well, look, we're saving all of the deciding matches for LAN, all right?
Exactly.
This is what I'm saying, all right? Quarterfinals, all of them will be the decider. Semifinals and finals, all of them will be the decider. And if not, okay, find me in person and tell me I'm wrong at the event for that day only.
Oh, look, I don't know about you all, but I will be shooting into that as much as possible, and I'm looking forward to the chaos of every series going to OT, going to full length. I think it'll definitely make for an interesting LAN. It's always more fun when the games are super tight, when the series are super tight as well. It's fun to cast, it's fun to watch, it's fun to play. I dare say as well. But this is not the series that we're going to see go to full time today. Massive credit to Red Ranch for putting up a fight. You've come up against the #1 seed and probably the toughest match you probably could have come up against today. So you've done well, but we are going to see Rebif go through to the LAN through the revolver.
Rebif makes it through, so congratulations to them. Unfortunately for Red Ranch, coming up that last series short. We still have one more, though, for you right around the corner as we take one last look at their stats. And again, like, there's really great stuff coming from the Rebif side. Scrim's World Plat players. Like the Plat Rats, to be more specific. Their first time competing in a Scrims, or in a against Scrim's World, but their first time playing in a Space Jump event. We'll see if they can put it together.
Fingers crossed that we do have a series on our hands with that one. Not to say that Scrim's World are going to win or lose. I'm not too sure what to expect of this Plat Rats team. But regardless, if you're just tuning in now, this will be our last qualifying. No, the next one will be our last qualifying match for the evening. Our final team to go through to LAN. And as I said earlier, if you haven't if you haven't got your tickets yet, they're free, but you still need to get them to secure your spot at the event. This LAN is a part of the PERTH event going on. So if you're wanting to come watch next week, please do. Massive shout out to the Western Australian government for allowing this, and for Tourism WA as well for sponsoring the PERTH event. It is huge for esports. It is huge for all of these players. I'm very, very jealous that the players in WA have this opportunity. We've had 18 teams sign up. That's huge. A whole 8 teams go through to LAN as well. Just some massive opportunities for the growth of esports in Perth is huge.
You know, there's just been the effort of like Tourism WA to be like finding and putting on these events. They've been getting like more big international marquee events as well happening down there. It's been really great to see for them, making the rest of the country jealous. We're going to a break. When we come back, it's going to be our final matchup. Stick around. One more series left. Welcome back, everybody. Coming to you live very clearly, both of us. We are in Perth CBD right now, just next to various parts of the CBD, actually. Like, Morgie can only hear me because I'm yelling across the river. So you can actually kind of triangulate almost where we are, like, in relation to the pictures right now. I think we could figure it out.
Very, very likely. Just don't ask me why the people in the background aren't walking. They've decided to stay still for the perfect picture, for the perfect background, just to keep everything looking nice. Obviously, all the lights in the building, they're all keeping them on for the rest of the night. Don't ask questions as to why it's
Wait, did you actually change your background as it became evening? I'm genuinely curious right now. Were you able to put that together? So that's sick. As we are underway for our third and final series, Plat Rats versus Scrims World. 1 spot left for this main event.
1 spot left is huge. We've had a massive night. This will be our 9th series of the night. If you've been watching the entire time tuning in, if you're only just joining us now, you have missed some action to get us here. We've got 7 teams through to the land now, and this match will be deciding that 8th team through the lower bracket. This is going to be a really exciting matchup. Obviously, Scrims World, we know and love the org. We're coming up against the Plat Rats, who are not too familiar with this team, to be fair. But if they've made it through this far, then they've done something right. And we are praying for a game 3. Because we've not had one on stream tonight, just one. We would love one, and this could be it.
Yeah, this could be it. I mean, it would be a bit of a shocker, I feel like, but that's just because coming into this one maybe a bit more knowledgeable of this Scrims World side. Shazarad and AJ, 2 players to look out for. However, not really been playing their best Rocket League today, dare I say.
No, I would
this trip
agree.
to the lower bracket.
I would agree with you there. Both very talented players when they're playing at their best. But we've seen them both fall today. Johan, again, another player I wasn't too familiar with prior to today, but I think played really well. Was it enough? Not so much, since they are through to this game now in the lower bracket, but hopefully it's just enough to get them through to the top 8.
We'll see if how much they can piece through right now. So far, early stages of this game, it's been a lot of Scrims World on the attack, but no real threatening touches yet. Just kind of waiting for that mistake from the defense, and to their credit, the Plat Rats have been doing a good job on that defensive side, not overextending, very composed, looking for an opportunity like this. Shazarad able to fall back for the save.
Just got there in the nick of time. That was looking very, very, very dangerous there. Scrims World shaking in their boots a little bit, not wanting to let this series go the way of the Plat Rats, but it's looking really tight for them.
It is. 3.5 minutes remaining. Scoreline still 0-0. A lot closer than what I was expecting, and this only is good for the Plat Rats. You'd have to imagine Chazarad wants to stay with the play. Ball comes off that side. It's not going to be the score. We do see Ben Barrett work along the corridors. Ball gets centered. Chazarad, full boost to their name. Pass across to AJ. Pass was a little bit behind them, but AJ still gets the touch. It's the 1-2-1, and it gets it done. A 1-0 lead.
I love to see that formal. It reminds me of just, back in the day playing sport, playing basketball. You've got to pass again. They're the kind of goals that we're seeing get scored easily tonight. It's not always about the solo plays. It's not always about the mechanics, but it's about throwing defense out of their position by passing the ball. As we said, 1-2-1, back again between the players, really makes defense awful.
Okay, so is it called the 1-2-1 pass in basketball as well? Because I'm pretty sure that's actually an ice hockey term.
Yeah, in basketball, I played basketball for 12 years, and we'd do a 1-2. Yeah. Not as often a 1-2-1, but essentially 1-2-1 or a 1-2.
Cool. See, I learned something, so maybe it didn't originate from my side. I just know it from ice hockey, a sport I have never played in my life. I'm from San Diego initially, all right? That's not a icy town. So.
What would have fooled me?
Shot on AJ save on the line.
Matrix now, not the touch you probably wanted. Benny managing to take the ball to the corner though. Chazarad, another awkward touch, but somehow manages to turn it into a scoring opportunity. Gets past the defenders who are pushed up way too far. That is not where you want to see your third man. Net was not protected. Easy shot for Chazarad.
you know it's looking good when you have a little bit of space to show off a bit. Chazarad using the butt of the car to kind of bump that one in. As soon as they knew it was a breakaway, 2-0 lead. Scrims World out in front. Look, it's gonna be a clear cut to the pitch. I'm pretty sure Scrims World, like the organization has an event next weekend as well. It would be very interesting to see them take over both this one and their own event, right? Like 2 events at once. Kind of crazy. The team in one side, though, AJ leading the charge, to be able to put that shot on. Yes, but it's not going through.
One Beret just in the perfect spot, in the right spot at the right time. I don't know if that was overly intentional. Nonetheless, a very lucky position to be in. One thing I'm noticing, I wouldn't call this team a team of plats. I think they're maybe.
Oh yeah, but they're definitely not plat level. Okay, they're diamond at least.
Yeah, they're holding their team. Holding their own better than I think plats would. In saying that, I think their rotations need a little bit of work. You can see One Beret kind of sitting in net, and I think a mistake even I was making up until recently was sitting in net without any momentum. You've got to go into saves with some kind of momentum. Where you might put yourself slightly out of position, but it's so much better having that speed and having to change direction last minute than having no speed at all.
That's why typically you want to play outside the post, not inside it. Mistakes on defense for Scrims World. Get the Plat Rat on the board at that 0-second mark. A 1-3 score line. You know it with that goal. Let's be real. The Plat Rats are probably at either a high champ or GC level. Like they're not Plats. The name was a lie. They know what they're doing, but unfortunately, Scrims World is a team on a mission, and they're up 1-0.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough battle for this Plat Rat side. I think, you know, that goal at the end there, it doesn't make a difference to the game score, or sorry, to the series score. But just knowing that, you know, Scrims World can falter and they can whip in defense would probably up the mental a little bit for the Plat Rats and, you know, allow them to gain that just slight bit of momentum. Even if it is slight, it will definitely help.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes through, but the hat trick for Chazarad is going to be tough to overcome. We'll see if they can find it. I mean, Chazarad has been that offensive force both in this game and the last series we saw from Scrims World as well. Super exciting player to kind of watch and follow. I would have actually picked AJ at the start, kind of similar to the chat, kind of what George was saying. Like, I thought AJ was going to be the one to come in and dominate, but that's not been the case so far here today. We'll see, though. It could be our final game of the evening if we can't see the comeback from the Plat Rats, but if we are going to see it, again, I think you're alluding to it. We need more offensive production. We need more, you know, cohesion on that defensive side to clear the ball back to the orange side of the pitch if the Plat Rats are going to come back in this one.
Absolutely, and if they're going to do it, it needs to happen quickly. They need to shut down Scrims World at the beginning of this match, maybe gain a goal or two early on, just to show that they are still a threat in this series. The one thing I did notice just before, and I'm not sure if it's just my game glitching out a little bit, but it looks like One Beret has a pretty high ping, which obviously can affect the gameplay significantly. So is me calling him out for sitting in net? Maybe that's all he could see at that point of time. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. But hopefully that ping doesn't affect me that much to kind of remove the series.
I feel like sitting in net is always something that like a player will default to do. Not to like, you know, always go hard on like confidence in that, but like every single time I've seen a player like not confident in a matchup or like tell me even behind the scenes that they're not feeling very confident, they're more likely to be sitting in the net and playing that kind of style, as Chazarad again gets the angle, 1-0 lead.
Absolutely. It's the best place to kind of default to. I find that, you know, when I feel like I'm out of my depths in a game and I'm just being completely... I've had games where I felt completely useless on the field. Like, I'm playing with... I probably sit at like high champ to low GC level when I play with my partner and his friends, and they're GC 3 kind of level. And sometimes I get caught really off guard. You've got to just go back to the net, kind of sit there for a second and reset and just try not to rub rotation too much. But it, yeah, definitely can be necessary.
When you're like me and You could go literally everybody, and you're like your Rocket League friends list is multiple levels above you. Yeah, I said that a lot. 2-0 lead for Chazaran on this one.
Credit to this backwards flick straight over the top of Ombre there. That was a yeah, very nice, clean piece of mechanical work there.
There you go, AJ. 50. Gets the fall across, and now it's going to fall down in front of that net. Johan wanted to stay with it. Go too far as Matrix. Sit behind the ball. Can't go too much with it as well. Benny Bailey launches that one through the corner. Going to the opposite end, just a little bit of back and forth action. It's not quite like the last game yet. Scrimmage World hasn't run away with this one that quickly. However, I still haven't really seen them lose their composure at all to make me worried that they could drop this game.
Yeah, I think regardless of, you know, they might not be up by a significant amount of goals. Of course, Qualifiers still could come back in this. They're just managing to keep control of not only the ball but the field really well in this. I think they've got, like we were talking about it earlier, it's that kind of intelligent play, that really good awareness and game sense as well that comes into be a factor here. And I think Scrims World has that for the Flat Rats right now. I think one thing I'm seeing in the chat as well is we've got a lot of Scrims World fans. You guys have got tickets, right? You guys are going to, maybe you're not in WA right now, but you're going next week, right? You're going, the land is a part of the PERTH event, obviously sponsored by Tourism WA and allowed by the Western Australian government. You guys have to go. The tickets are free. You've got no excuses. You've got to fly over. Just trust me, it's worth it.
I mean, they've got to qualify first.
They've got to... Oh yeah, there. Hang on.
They gotta qualify.
No, if you're a true Scrims World fan, you're buying a ticket right now. If you're a true Scrims World fan, you go win or lose. Your team rocks up regardless. You're sitting there in the audience and you support the team that knocked your team out of the land. Trust me, it's the right thing to do. But in saying that, I'm glad they came back with another goal just to back me that slight bit. I was sweating for a second there. I looked away for a second to look at that.
On the cast curve scale, that would have been S tier, but yeah, no. Since I brought, since we looked at it, Johan has finally woken up. Back-to-back goals, 4-1 lead right now. Everyone from Scrims World getting involved on this one. 3-point lead for the Scrims World side.
George's Rocket League in the chat saying I'm only going if KJ makes it. I'm just screenshotting that right now. You better be getting a ticket. Nonetheless, we're glad to see.
Tickets are free. No excuse not to get one, right? Like, even if you're not going, just get a ticket. It's free. It's free.
Exactly. If you're in WA, then you should be going. And if you're not in WA, then you should be going twice. That's all we got to... All I have to say is a state that is supporting esports is a state that I want to be in. It is a state that you should all be flying to watch the event, because that's incredible. And a government that is not only supporting, but Tourism WA sponsoring the event, sponsoring PERTH is a huge thing. And the fact that they recognise that esports is a massive thing for the growth of our future, for these players' future, is huge. So just go. Trust me, you've got to support them supporting us.
Exactly. I think it'll be a fun time to be had by all as well. Every sort of Space Jump event that's happened in LAN, everyone does kind of come away saying like how much of a great time they have had, how much they're excited for the next one following that as well. So definitely get out there, get involved, and you have to be tuning in and wondering, hold on, this has already happened. When is it going to happen again? Well, make sure you follow Scrims World. Make sure you follow. Hey, you got Scrims World, go ahead and follow them, but also follow Space Jump and get yourself involved with them and their future lands coming up. It's not just Rocket League. We have other things planned in the future. Either way, Benny Bailey going to make this one 2-5.
And Benny Bailey not wanting to let go of this game just yet. A really good pass from One Beret as well. Chazara flying past that ball, unable to make contact on the save. We're going to see a little bit of that goal differential reduced. Is it enough? Is it too little too late? I think it could be.
I think it might be as well. We will see, though. 3 goals is not out of the equation, especially with the Mater. Trying to get that one across the field. Didn't want to go so far with it. One Beret immediately gets dunked on by Johan, and now Chazarad with possession. What a fake! What a musty double!
That's not something we've seen too much of tonight, Paul. Paul, our goal of the night. I'm calling it now. It's happened in the last series. I said it was going to happen last series, and it didn't. Chazarad coming through with a clean, clinical. Like, how many musties have we seen tonight, Paul? That was insane.
The musty to fake into a double touch. That was one of the best goals I've seen, period, let alone today. Chazarad. My goodness. I wonder what he can do in land. I wonder what he can do live on stage. This is why you gotta go. 40 seconds remaining. I am hoping that one got clipped. As we look to count this one down to the end. Fantastic stuff from both these teams, though, when it's all said and done. Again, although Smooth Road might be going through, a big shout out to the Platin Rats. Their first space jump event. So close to qualifying through. They're going to go ahead and get credit for another goal, but with 24 seconds, I think it's time for the victory laps.
Yeah, I think you are right, Foreman, especially after a goal like that. If Swimsword was to lose it now, it would be pretty devastating. Massive credit again to Chazarad for that shot. Chat, please tell me you have clipped that. Please, somebody clip that. That was insane. I'm saying Chazarad can take down Rebiff 1v3. I'm calling it now. If it happens after a goal like that, we have to have confidence in Chazarad.
There's so many of like these teams that we kind of put outside of like the favorites that are like showing signs why they could be up there. I mean, you know, Scrimsworld, maybe they can make some upsets. I'm still looking at the 30-year-olds as well. They came through surprisingly strong. Inyanet could be one that could maybe make an upset. There's a lot of ways this land can go as Scrimsworld secures that final, that number 8 spot. And if I'm not mistaken, they actually are going to go up against the 30-year-olds in the first match.
That is insane. You know,
and I was mistaken because it's going to be Rebiff going up against the 30-year-olds.
I was going to say, like, that's the game I'd be looking out for. I know I spoke of like a top 4 before, and I would have put potentially Rebiff, Apples is American, and Inyanet in that top 3. That top 4, though, I feel like that 4th position, it could be Scrimsworld, it could be the 30-year-olds. I feel like it's really hard to call, but it's looking like a nice top 4, I think.
Yeah, I think the top 4 is going to be interesting for sure. I mean, Team Gaming Esports Club taking on Scrimsworld, I think it's going to be a good matchup as well. But I don't know if things are going to change. Like, I don't know how solidified what, you know, Start.gg is saying, or if, you know, things might get reseeded a bit. We'll see. Obviously, none of this is locked in stone just yet. But as it stands, 30-year-old Rebiff, Apples' American Shadow Wizard Money Gang on the top half of the bracket. That means very likely we could be seeing like a Rebiff versus Apples' American in the semifinals. And I mean, if it's coming up on stream, maybe that is official. That is a crazy matchup should they meet on Sunday.
I think.
Rebiff got moved to the bottom. There we go. Yeah, so it is. Yep. Okay, it has been moved a bit.
Interesting. I feel like. Look, we've said it from the start, and it's obviously nothing's set in stone. It's just our best guess. But I feel like from the start, those were the 2 teams that I feel like were more likely to make it through to that final. The fact that they're now on opposite sides of the bracket is terrifying for the other teams. But if Scrimsworld perform like they did today, then there's a chance. If Inyanet performs like they have the last event, then there's a chance. The 30-year-olds, they came out of nowhere. This entire event is so up for grabs. If you're not going to the land to watch it, I don't know what you're doing. Go get tickets now. You have to go watch this. This is RLCS basically. This is the most exciting onstage event you're going to see. You've got to go get tickets.
Yeah, I think you absolutely do. So it's going to be an absolute treat if you haven't done so already. Once again, a big thank you to Tourism WA, or the Western Australian government as well, for letting Space Jump be a part of the PERTH Winter Arts Festival. It's not just Rocket League that's happening there. No, there's a whole range of incredible shows on offer, live music, circus acts. You know, you go down there. I'm sure the food trucks are of top quality as well, as they tend to be in these types of things. I mean, Perth is a beautiful, beautiful city. Has some of the best ramen I've actually had in Australia, Perth as well. I'm not sure how much that has to do with the PERTH Winter Arts Festival, but just you know, keep your eyes open. A lot of fun places to be had. So a big shout out, thank you to them. A big shout out, thank you to all the players who jumped in and participated in this event as well. Even if you did not qualify to that main event, just by participating, you know, you are taking a part, you are helping the esports scene grow. And to everyone who tuned in to watch along, I mean, there was a lot of fans coming in to cheer on friends. Definitely love seeing you guys there, love seeing the passion coming from that crowd. Again, it's a long off season, Morgie, so the more events like this, the more we can show the support for them, the better everyone's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all a team effort, right? It's everybody being involved. It's Space Jump for even organising the event in the first place. As Formal said, it's the teams for all signing up, regardless of whether you're one of the 8 teams that made it through to LAN or not. We had 18 teams total sign up today, which is a jump from 12 in the summer major, which is a huge jump up. And you know, there are some teams that we didn't get to see on stream, unfortunately. One I had in mind was Level 99 Fishing. All the love for you guys. Was so excited to see you play. But regardless, if you didn't make it through, it's still an achievement to play. It is experience to play. You get better every time you lose. And not only that, you're supporting, like we said, you're supporting Space Jump. You're supporting the growth of esports in WA. And hopefully that transfers across to other states. Hopefully we can all take notice from WA, and you know, maybe the Victorian government can tee up their own land soon. Maybe we can have something in Queensland and New South Wales as well. But we've got to take note of how WA is doing this. It's incredible. So massive thank you to the WA government.
I'm just going to say there are some things possibly in the work, but this is not the time or the place for that as it stands. If you do want to be part of the act in the future as well, make sure to follow Space Jump on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Do be sure to join the Space Jump Discord server as well and let them know, hey, we want to see more games. We want to see more tournaments. We want to get more involved. But for now, this is it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Morgie, Formal. We'll see you next time.